here we go. We are live. Actually, we're not live. I always say we're live. We're not fucking recording.
Yeah.
Right,
We're all back. We're all back.
This is episode 8 of the Light Chat podcast. And Chris is back.
I'm back from the dead.
I feel like I'm on a set of this morning or something. With people working outside.
Yeah. So, Chris, what's it like having 2 children?
Man, it's hard work, boys. Hard work.
Yeah.
Well, someone told me that you won't appreciate how easy it was having one until you have 2.
Do you know how easy it is without having any?
Oh, yeah. It's lovely.
He hates having lions.
It's really weird though, because we were in the hospital, and I came home. Nick had to stay in Cesarean, and I came home. And how weird it is though when you are home on your own, and you're like,
Yeah.
when all the family's in, you haven't got a minute to sleep because they're all crying or they're all wanting a bottle, and that's just Nick, you know. and then I was home from hostel on my own, and how creepy is your house when you're there on your own?
Do you know
You're
what?
just convinced that an axe murderer's going to come in and just followed you.
Love it.
You love being on your own. I love being on my own.
You like peace and quiet by yourself?
No, I do, but then
I love it.
But I'm not used to it
Turn
now.
the bar and channel up, volume.
Yeah. Steve just goes absolutely mental.
Beat himself to
In
death.
James's bedroom.
And I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
And what I don't, when there's lots going on, you don't realise, you don't appreciate all the weird noise that go on in your house, do you?
Yeah,
And every noise, you're convinced.
I love it, mate.
No,
I love it. I love this idea of just being there by yourself. I love my own company.
You're the
that's
kind
weird.
of guy on a desert island who would just be like, yeah, leave me here.
If I got stranded, I'd be like, it's not bad, actually.
It's all right.
Weather's
all right.
nice.
So you like living on your
Let's
own?
go to basketball. I call it Wilson. I'll be alright.
Yeah, exactly. So Wilson with a mouth cut out in the middle.
James likes being on his own. Ratty likes being on his own.
Long to
Yeah.
go watermelons. Do you like
You
being on
guys,
your own?
you guys live together, yeah?
Well, no,
Yeah, but the beauty is the hours we work, we're like
Yeah.
passing ships. So he has the house himself, and so do I. Large period of time. So
It's true, actually.
I didn't realise that you do different shifts then, do you?
Yeah, I do half 4 to half 7. He's home during the day,
Ratty does
so-
like normalish hours,
Yeah.
and I do ridiculously early till
Batman
late
hours,
hours.
don't you?
Yeah, Batman hours.
Batman hours. But no, it's
Actually, I got
good.
a secret to say. I'm Bruce
I know.
Wayne.
It was good. I mean, being a father's weird anyway. It's just so weird. We were just like, Nick had just given birth, and the next, I don't know, 2-3 hours, there were people walking around asking about contraception. You were like, "Hello for that?" Yeah, I've literally just seen all that crap. Don't worry, we ain't ever having a baby again. It's crazy though, you know.
You got the snip?
Huh?
Got the snip?
Nah, I'm just gonna kick her in there. Kick her in there.
Just sleep in a different bed.
Yeah, it's just weird, you know, and it's like it's weird. You're getting used to it, but I mean, when people start having kids when they're in their late 30s, I'll be sitting back having a cocktail when my kids are grown up. When I
Guy at work, he's had the snip. He's had 3 girls, and finally had the boy. So he had the boy snip.
it's a big commitment, though, isn't it? Because imagine like you broke up, or or you
but
changed your mind.
I think 5 kids is enough kids.
5 kids.
With the same woman, so that's really good.
Yeah, bloody hell. It's a lot, isn't it? You know, and there was a woman that had just given birth to another. She was next to Nick. I think she was like 22 or 23. She had like 4 or 5 kids. 23. She was Romanian.
Wow.
And they were asking her about contraceptive, and the guy was saying no. He's like, oh god, it's all right for him, isn't it?
It's a bit too late though, isn't it? The damage has been done. Not say damage, the life's already been created.
Don't you ever want us to have kids though?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What would you want? Anything, is it?
Love to have a boy for the end of the day, sake, the name and all that.
Yeah. Pass on your genes, isn't
Yeah.
it? If you inherit a
if I had a
dynasty.
girl, she'd be the princess.
Yeah.
Spoiled.
You got to think about having a boy though. If you ever inherit a kingdom, he's going to carry on your name, isn't he?
Yeah.
You got to think about these things, haven't you? You know, when the world ends and we're all like we're all like bloody going to war over like wet wipes and stuff like that. You're gonna wish you had a son in you.
Steve, are you watching The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
What do you think of the last episode?
It was a bit dreary, but not a lot happened. But hopefully next season it'll change.
The Walking Dead, I'm sorry, is shit.
It's got
It's
crap.
gone awful. It's just so like, as I say, it's just so weird now. It's just like it seems
They
as
gotta
though,
stop it now, innit? Really.
Yeah, and
And
sometimes
I don't think they know how to end it.
and sometimes it just drags on though, doesn't it? They get a series and it starts doing really well, and that's why I like Breaking Bad, where it ended on a high, didn't it? It ended when the figures
Yeah.
were massive, and Because Better Call Saul, they brought that out, but I haven't bothered watching that.
I haven't
No.
seen Soul yet.
I think the problem with The Walking Dead is it hangs on storylines for too long, and the whole issue with the survivors, they could have sorted that out quite quickly.
Yeah.
But I appreciate them making the show and stuff, a very successful show. But they lost a lot of viewers, didn't they? They've lost an awful lot of
Yeah,
viewers.
because apparently the finale was the lowest rating for finale.
It doesn't surprise me though, because I've lost totally. I used to love Walking Dead, but I've really lost interest in it this season.
But the thing with American
Not that anyone
TV,
cares, I suppose.
if it goes into a certain thing, they'll just access straight away. Even if there's still more series they filmed,
Yeah.
they won't show them.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very ruthless.
Yeah.
America.
Bastards.
They did that with My Name Is Earl and all that.
Yeah,
It was-
did you watch My Name's
Yeah,
Earl?
I
That
lived
was
there.
quite good actually. Well, he won. No, was
Yeah,
it?
he won the lot.
He won
the
100,
lottery.
100 grand or something, and everyone he screwed over, he went back, didn't he? To
Yeah.
try and,
Try and rectify what he done wrong to right.
yeah, that's right. But some of the stories, he really screwed people over, hadn't he?
My name's Hill. Oh, it's in the trailer park.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember watching that. I was good.
And didn't he win more money or something then?
yeah.
Because he got run over or something, didn't he? And then he got loads of compensation.
That's where he had the karma
Yeah.
thing about if you do good things will happen.
And he's just tried to come back now. I'm surprised that was axed, because that was a really good series.
Yeah, it just simply because the ratings went low. It just went. We were talking about The Walking Dead.
All right.
Yeah.
I had to just briefly leave. This, the secret location we recorded is
The bunker was almost compromised.
The
wasn't
bunker
it?
was almost compromised, so I had
I've got to shoot
to
some,
defend against the mutants trying to get in.
There's a few around,
There's a few
here,
out
isn't there?
there.
So,
Yeah.
guys, it's coming into holiday season. That mental story on Tuesday, the woman getting sucked off a plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait there. Sucked off. Now, that could have sounded bad. She wasn't sucked off a plane.
She wasn't sucking.
Well, she
anyone
died
off.
from it, so it couldn't have been that good. No,
That's unbelievable.
so it was was it American
It
flight?
was an
Yeah, it was American
flight
flight,
from
yeah.
New York to Dallas.
So American flight, engine packs in, breaks apart, smashes the window
Where the woman's sat.
sitting,
What are
and
the
she gets
chances?
sucked out to a waist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the woman next to her grabs
But
her.
unfortunately, with the debris and whatever,
Yeah.
she experiences severe head trauma.
well,
I
she
think it
like
was.
32,000 feet up.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. I mean, what are the chances
It was,
of that?
it was
You
a woman.
have to be
It was a
sat by
woman
there.
pilot.
Yeah.
She saved the day.
She saved the day, didn't she?
Yes, did good.
Have you seen the picture? These are the pictures of the engine that exploded. That's
Jesus Christ.
absolutely.
Do they know why it blew up?
No, they reckon it's going to take a year to investigate it,
But,
don't
but what I love about it, though,
It takes to bribe somebody.
is like people are on the verge thinking they're gonna die, and the first thing you do is let's film it.
Yeah. See that?
Get your
guy?
cameras
film
out.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
there
guy
was a
filmed it,
guy
didn't he?
who
Yeah,
was Facebooking
people
it.
there.
What?
Oh, Facebook Live. Look at me, I'm on a crash.
It's unbelievable.
But then I did hear the guy's interview, and he was criticised for that, and he did put up quite a valid argument. He's like, okay, then
Is evidence which could
Yeah.
be used?
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah, because we always wonder, well, if
What
a plane
happened?
crashes, you
Yeah.
wonder what happened to it.
Because
Well,
they're looking for the black box and all that.
Yeah.
If they got video evidence, I
And,
suppose.
you know.
But when someone's going, smiley face, I'm
was he
verge
doing
of
that,
death.
or was he just?
No.
no,
he
he's
was-
just filming what's going on. You see all the oxygen things dangling
Yeah,
down
that's
and
right.
all
You
that.
see it out the window, though.
No,
you
they
didn't
didn't show. They didn't
nothing
show
like
that.
that.
It was just people wherever they were sitting. And
Do you know what? Though? I think I'd Facebook Live myself.
But,
Jack,
but like,
I think
Yeah.
we would as
but
well,
the-
yeah.
but
Maybe
the
like
woman,
glass messages to family.
but the
Fuck
woman
you up!
pilot, she was praised on because like she kept everyone calm, and like to be honest, she's not gonna. People said, "Oh, if she was too calm." I was like, "Yeah, but she's not gonna go
She was-
panic,
she was
panic,
punching
panic."
again. How
could you be too calm?
And-
We're all
How can
going
you
to
be
die.
too calm? Like,
you
that's
look out the
ridiculous
window,
thing to
she's
say.
gone past you on a fucking ejector seat.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I'm gonna go get help.
You'll probably be okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But
She was like an RAF pilot or something, wasn't she?
yeah,
Yeah,
military.
for-
Yeah, yeah.
But God, in that, like, I like holidays, but I freaking hate flying, and that's my.
Never buy a window seat. Never
No,
see
they
it.
say the
I
best.
love the window
Yeah,
seat.
I prefer the window seat.
I know, but I always get to sit by the wing, and I was freaked out by it before. But now I'm going to be a bloody mess, aren't I?
Yeah, don't get a wing seat.
I think you'll have to do a Mr. T on me on a plane.
Yeah. No, you just
Just
gotta.
put sleeping pills in my food and.
I love it. There's only once. It was the first time I flew, and I was in my chair, and I just realised there's a stand on the back of that. You unfold it on the bottom. See there.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I cannot get off this plane. If I wanted to
Yeah,
now,
yeah, if anything
I
happened.
cannot get off the plane.
I
and
got
that
a
freaked
fear
me
of
out.
planes.
I know I don't like
What I
flights.
always-
Jets and all that. Put me in a F-14. I'll happily go around
Yeah,
upside down
you're
and
gonna get
50.
shot at.
But put me on a passenger plane, I'll freak out.
What I always hate though, do you know at the end of the flight where it's like everyone's sitting in your plane, everyone's sitting in your seat, and everyone just gets up and starts elbowing each other. You get
Yeah.
really claustrophobic,
Yeah,
don't you?
especially
Yeah,
British
yeah.
flights.
I remember before I was on a flight to Egypt and I had like a mini like little freak out because I was like in the middle. My mum was leaning on me one way.
She's a nightmare,
My
man.
my wife was leaning on me the other way, and I was stuck in the middle. It was boiling hot. I felt really claustrophobic,
Yeah.
and I just jumped up and started swearing at everyone on the
Well,
flight. I
like a mini
just
spaz
fucking
out.
get off me! Just fucking get
Well,
off me!
guys.
I just had this mini like breakdown like in the middle of the. It was I've never had one before or since.
You feel stressed though. You
Yeah,
feel contained,
yeah,
don't you?
anxiety
I felt-
levels.
I hate
well,
it.
guys, once I was flying from New York. We were going from New York, flying back to London, right? And I fell
Tom got
asleep.
sucked off the plane. Then.
Yeah, I sucked off the plane, man. I fell
Come off
asleep.
doing backflips.
I fell asleep because it was quite an empty plane, so we had quite a row of seats to ourselves. So I laid down and fell asleep. The next thing, Claire leant over me. I think she went to kiss my head today, and all I felt was the hair on my head. I went absolutely freaking ballistic. Went, fuck off, fucking leave me alone.
Did
Went,
you?
Yeah, mental on the
What,
plane.
was you on like a bad dream, or you just?
No, because I just jumped up and seen a face in my head. I woke up.
You feel being attacked by some.
No, I just didn't know what was going on, so I started going absolutely ballistic. Like, and
Yeah.
apparently, everyone on the plane stopped and listened to me going mad, like a
What did Claire
madman.
say?
She didn't say nothing. She just.
Calm down, Tom.
But people were looking at me and staring
Yeah.
for the rest of the flight. Now, like, not my proudest moment, admittedly.
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
would jump if you woke up in the plane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like flying anyway.
So how long did it take you? Because we've all done it. I remember falling asleep once, right? Because I sleep weird, so sometimes my arm falls asleep.
Yeah.
And I remember sleeping so weird that my arm was kind of over my head, and my hand fell asleep, so it felt numb, so I
Yeah.
couldn't feel it, so it felt like somebody had their hand on my face, and I'm like, and it was my own arm. So, but that was a few seconds of panic, but I didn't.
I went ballistic.
You
I went,
do all-
it wasn't my proudest moment.
Tom don't like being woken up. Remember, there's a film on YouTube of me waking Tom up with an
yeah, with a foghorn. Like, what are you going to do?
What we'll have to
Right,
do? We'll
Chris,
have to copy that.
That
onto-
has to go in the
yeah.
show notes. Is that on
Tom, put it on the
YouTube?
show notes. I'll find it on YouTube.
Yeah,
and
dig it
I'll
out,
put
mate.
on
Dig it
there.
out. That's good.
What you should do is get a little table, put it over the head, then do the fire. Sort of go.
Oh no, it's really funny though, wasn't it, Tom? Tom didn't like that.
No, but I didn't. Well, being woken up with the foghorn, because I wasn't feeling well at the
He
time
keeps saying
anyway.
he's gonna get me back. This is like
You wait for
2 years
your
later.
life's on edge, yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
Tom's too thick to get me back.
But Chris and James, my brother, are trying to sort out the stag do. So what's the news on
Oh
that?
yeah, well we're not going to Southeast Asia. we're the worst case recorded of an STI. This guy had. You read this?
No, fill us
Yeah,
in.
super
So there's
gonorrhea.
an English man. So we're at least we're good at something. He caught the worst case of a super gonorrhea for a one night stand in
Wow,
Southeast
super.
Asia.
Jesus, super gonorrhea.
So what do they say? What makes this super
It was resistant to two crucial forms of
treatment?
treatment, yeah.
Wow.
And it was
Jesus
only
Christ.
just the head. So Gwenda Hughes is the head of STI and PHE. So we're
What a job title! I'm the head of STI.
we're pleased to report that the anti-drug resistant gonorrhea has been successfully treated.
Yeah.
Investigation have also revealed. Oh no. I went onto the wrong one. But imagine having that.
Wow.
Imagine like having coming back.
So does
he
it
had
say
to-
how he caught it, or
he
is
had
that
a
all?
Yeah,
one-night- he had a
you had a
one-night
one-night
stand
stand.
with someone in Southeast. Well, not just that. Wait a minute.
Where to with them,
There's
yeah.
actually someone going around with an
With
even
super
worse,
STI.
a super
Yeah.
case.
And you know that's the kind of thing, that sort of stuff, no pun intended, but that'll spread. As
Yeah.
in, everyone you know is
Surely
going to
you
know.
must see.
It's like having super VD in a fire shoots
Is
up
there going
my
to be some
dick.
type of? Is there going to be some type of like warning signs there, though? I mean,
Well,
I've never. I've never encountered anybody with
I
STI.
don't know.
What they are
Don't
concerned
cheat
about-
on your missus abroad with a
Yeah.
fucking lady
Well,
boy.
imagine that though, coming
Yeah.
back and having to explain to your wife, not only have you got an STI,
But the
Oh,
worst
yeah.
case,
it's the worst case. in the
Imagine
whole-
even with
whole
protection,
world.
it still got to you. It was that powerful.
I'll just blame the
She
toilet
had like
seat.
Hulk vagina, and it she had like Hulk vagina. And it just
Yeah.
broke through your
Yeah.
condom.
Oh, God, as much. I don't know. Anyway, but the doctors are saying that they expect to see further cases of this, and there's been a few similar
God.
cases come to light in Australia this week as well.
Of super
There's
STIs.
this woman out
my
in Southeast
God.
Asia, man. They need to like name and shame her, don't they?
It's like 28 days later.
Yeah,
just
but it's when
vagina
those
fluid.
people then doing it to other people, so it's like a
28
infestation.
days later. 28 days later, boys. I'm telling you.
What's worrying though is that what they said is that in a few years' time, this was treated with such powerful antibiotics. In a few years' time, the clap.
He's got the old.
Yeah, I know he has. That's
How's your friend?
it's going to become. I know it's going to become immune to any sort of treatment.
wow.
Imagine it's like going back to the
Well, 'cause
times.
they give us antibiotics virtually on everything, and that's why we get immune to the antibiotics.
Yeah,
and
we're
that's
growing
where,
tolerance
and that's
for it.
where.
Well, it's
virus don't
unbelievable. Do you
work
know
as
how
much.
they used to treat syphilis like years ago?
I don't know, I never
with
had that.
mercury. They used to put mercury on you, so they're gonna have to go back
Freddie.
to some of these men. Yeah, Freddie.
But they reckon there's antibiotics in our food, like animals. They give animals antibiotics, and that's how we get it. So very small doses.
Let's see, when the dog licks you, like an antiseptic type of thing on
Yeah.
the wounds type of thing, innit?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Though. And
So what are the symptoms then?
Yeah.
What's he experiencing then?
So for our viewers,
have
what
a
are the
look here.
symptoms, Chris?
let me look it up.
Gonorrhea. I don't want to really put
Wow,
one of the
it's
symptoms of
incredible,
gonorrhea in
though.
my phone.
Super gonorrhea. This is incredible, actually, that I didn't realise I was reading about this. It is one of many antibiotic-resistant infections which can kill over 700,000 people a year over
wow.
the world.
I didn't realise
Not
it
just
did.
gonorrhea. It's a super anti-resistant infection. That's incredible, isn't it?
So, how much?
700,000 people across the whole
Wow,
world.
that's like
So
Cardiff twice.
Well, 2 Cardiffs a year, every year. Super.
Dodgy
These
people
are just. Yeah, I know. That
It
woman
makes you
that's
wonder
getting
where
a
the
busy
LNG
gym.
going, isn't it?
See, I don't want to go abroad now.
Yeah. You still want to go to Thailand, Steve?
It's unbelievable. 78 million people over the whole world have contracted gonorrhea, which can go symptomless for weeks.
Yeah, sometimes you could just be the carrier, can you?
I
So-
literally know nothing about it.
Let me tell you. So if you're a woman, your gonorrhea symptoms can include, oh God, this sounds awful, unusual vaginal discharge, right there, which may be thin
VD.
or watery or green or yellow in colour.
I bet it stinks as well.
Oh, Steve.
Should imagine it would, yeah. If you see that though, you need to
Yeah.
get straight down the doctor. don't you?
Especially the green.
When it goes, if something goes green, it's got to be seen, haven't it?
Like a fucking yogurt.
Right, okay, so it is to say what?
Pain or burning sensation when passing water.
bet it's
Pain
itchy
or
like fuck,
tenderness
is it?
in the lower abdomen.
I bet it's itchy as fuck. or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Bleeding between periods or heavy periods between these. And in men, unusual discharge from the tip of the penis, which may be white, yellow, or green. Again, my advice still stands. If it's green, go and speak to someone.
Yeah.
If it's green, don't be seen.
Exactly, yeah. Pain or burning sensation when urinating, inflammation, and pain and tenderness of the testes. I just can't help thinking how you would try and square that with your missus when you come back and you've got the worst case of gonorrhea ever.
Yeah, but if you
Poor girlfriend.
and if he's hiding that and he's doing a deed on her, then she comes in contact with it.
Well, it goes on to say here that there's a guy that was in Australia and he had a very, very bad case of it as well. And he admitted that he was having sex with an English girl as well. Regular sex with a girl when he came back as well. So imagine that. So
Yeah, and then she's going out because she could just be a carrier. I'm sure that she could just.
this is it, though, isn't it? This is it.
Oh,
Go out there.
Super
that'd ruin your holiday,
gonorrhea.
wouldn't it, Steve?
You ruin your life. Imagine that. I don't know. Anyway,
Get lucky once,
Well, exactly.
Pay the price.
pay the price.
So that's gonorrhea then. So
Absolutely.
I missed it. Oh shit.
So
do you want me to go?
I missed it. Right. I'm sorry. I'm in. Oh, phone keeps going off.
So anyway,
This is so poor form on my part.
you asked about the symptoms, Jim.
Yes, please.
So
Recap, quick.
let me go
Recap.
through-
Sorry, listeners.
These are the top of the pops for me. So in women, unusual vaginal discharge, which may be thin, watery, green, or yellow.
Je t'aime.
You need to go, as I say, yeah. That's,
That is rank. Fair
burning
play.
sensation when you pee, tenderness in the lower abdomen, or heavier periods. In guys, it's the same. It's unusual discharge, yellow, white, or green. burning sensation when you pee, or swelling or tenderness. I was just saying, though, imagine trying to explain that to your missus when you get
But
home.
swelling
Yeah,
ain't the
yeah,
bad
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
is it? Swelling ain't the
I'm
bad
sure you're not
thing, is
complaining
it?
about the
It
swelling.
looks
It's the
bigger.
rest-
Wow.
It's the rest of them. I don't know, man. That's
Thanks.
I'll
I'll drink to that.
That's pretty messed up. But what it also says as well is that 78 million people in the world have got gonorrhea every year, contract it every year.
At any one
That's
time, is it?
massive, isn't it?
How many?
78
That's like
million.
Britain. How much? Britain's about 70 million.
That's probably
isn't
just in Ely.
How did it ever start off? Who was like the first person to like start the chain off?
Yeah, do they know where it originates from? Is it just like
know.
yeast
Dirty
infection?
bastard.
Someone just didn't wash for a year.
Yeast on.
I bet it's fucking Bob
steroids.
Geldof, innit? He didn't have a bath for 2 years.
Didn't he? Is that true?
Yeah, apparently.
Why
He
2
had to wash. You just didn't have a bath or something. That's what his hair's all fucking scraggy.
He's like a fucking student, isn't he? He's got that student
Yeah, he is.
look and feel, hugging trees.
I remember
and saving
once
the
when I
whale.
was in a cinema and a guy absolutely stunk next to me, like properly smelled so bad I had to freaking move. Like, oh, it was feral.
There was a guy I knew. He was his coat. He was a filthy guy anyway. He lived in a bedsit with his dog, and his coat was so thick with dirt. It was almost shiny, and you could see it on the collar of his coat.
Protective layer.
And he had this weird like skin growths on his face and the plaque on his teeth. You could fucking
James.
build a brick wall with
Oh,
it.
that's like fucking,
was this woman-
that's like Colin
It was
hours.
cement.
There was this woman I used to work with, and she used to say that she didn't clean her house, she didn't dust it or anything, and she said after 2 years it stops getting dusty. So, well,
because everything's covered
Yeah,
in
and I was
dust.
doing that, didn't
it's the initial 2
True.
years, though.
It's true.
I? Dust free, and
I just
don't
think it's
do it.
absolutely
I
ridiculous.
just waiting for that to be the case on my washing, but that
Yeah,
keeps
Just
going.
end up washing
Just end
it.
up
They say that with
walking
hair,
itself.
though, don't they? After a while,
If
you
you
don't
stop
Yeah,
it,
it
it'll
self
wash
cleans
itself.
itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Is that true though? Just like an oily.
That's
twat?
what-
No, it's just
Well,
like so much
it just
grease
it
and
just
filth.
it just gets
Like
well,
a weird,
it's just
shiny-
greasy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just greasy.
like people who have braids. No, not braids. What's he called? Like
Dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks,
Yeah, they can't wash. They can't wash. They can like swill and tap and all that sort of thing,
can't
but they
put, like,
can't
shampoo in
like
there.
shampoo and conditioner and all that because it's all like matted with like beeswax.
Well, guys, I remember years
Proper
and years
dreads
ago.
are anyway.
Gosh.
Years we used to work in this place, and remember that guy who was a manager, and he absolutely stank. His hygiene was bad.
Yeah.
He was a bloody alcoholic, and then people were complaining. Oh, it was the most cringeworthy meeting I've ever had. Right, so people made the complaint about people's hygiene, but they meant him.
Oh,
So
they do like
he-
a general thing.
Yeah, so they didn't want to identify him or humiliate him. So what they done, they said, oh, we need to talk about people's hygiene. So he calls in a meeting, and he stunk bad, real bad. Like if he's in this room now, you could smell him before you saw him. And so he's got this meeting. So we've all got to sit there, stone faced, where this guy's going. And he was an idiot as well. He's like, oh, you smelly so and so's. If you just before, it ain't hard to have a wash before you come to work, or have a shave or something, or spray yourself. And everyone's like there, stone faced, staring at this guy who stinks.
So he was given this,
He was giving this speech,
and he stinks.
and he stunk.
I would have said, "Hang on a minute."
It's
you
like a
smelly."
circle, and like it was like it's just him on his own.
No, it
It did
was.
stink. And
I
not just
was
that,
horrible.
like, instead of going and having, like, a shower and washing yourself properly, he just used to bugger off and just spray on top of his stink.
Yeah, so
Oh,
we'd
that's-
still have like
It was
Theo
like
and
stink, spray, stink, spray.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
just
It
disgusting.
was like last night I would.
He was
one of
crusty
our
as well.
mates, he had like a little campfire going. I just stunk of like firewood smoke.
Yeah.
And like I woke up this morning, I was like, oh god,
Just lingers.
just
I was
in a
watching. I was
shower,
watching
my
this.
beard just stank of.
yeah.
I was watching
Fire.
this thing the other day, and there was I don't know if they were like special forces people or whatever they was, and it just sticks out at me that people they would have showers with smoke to mask their smell. So if they were going on operations or whatever it was, they would just like put a camp and just stand in front of the campfire for, like with loads of smoke for 45 minutes.
Freaking hell, surprised you haven't got like carbon monoxide poisoning or something.
Well,
Still
you'd
drop
rather
dead.
that than be shot in the face, wouldn't you, by bloody some sniper in like Burma or something? I don't know.
I can smell something smoky.
I don't know. Anyway, the biggest, another story this week that really shocked me. Arsene Wenger.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yes.
leaving, isn't he?
Yeah.
Fucking finally.
What do you don't want like what? Arsene
He's
Wenger?
lost his touch. He lost it a long time ago. Look, it's no big surprise. I mean, how old is he now? 70 something, isn't he?
something like that.
Is
Isn't
he?
he?
He's that old, is he?
He's got to be touching
must be, yeah.
70s.
The thing is, though, my argument is right. All the Arsenal fans want him gone. They're fed up with him. But who are you going to bring in that's better than him?
Well, unfortunately, that's
it's
something
what happens.
which Liverpool went through.
Yeah.
Man United.
That's something that Man
United.
United are going to go through now
Yeah.
because Mourinho's not going to stay. He's a mercenary.
Yeah, he's not going to be there for a long time.
He's not going to be there for a while. So unfortunately, they're going to have to go through that change.
Well,
One of their top. One of the top bets to take over is Brendan Rodgers. Have you seen that?
Brendan Rodgers, he's doing well in
up
Scotland.
there.
Yeah, but you see,
It's not fucking I do well in
Yeah.
Scotland if you're in charge of Celtic.
I
isn't it?
reckon I'd win the league. I would win the league if I was Celtic.
Well, you can win the league. Why not turning up? Just
Yeah.
fucking text your team.
What's
Just kick the
what's
ball in the
difference?
goal.
What's
Go,
the
lads.
points difference now? Literally, I think they're like, I don't know what the points difference
have a
is
look
now.
Oh, they're raping the league.
A few seasons ago, though, I think it was like they won the league by about 20 points.
Yeah, it's
So they could have
ridiculous.
like not turned up for like,
There's no competition
there's
there.
no competition
like
there.
5
Not at
games.
all.
They could have just said, right, we're
Do you know what
not
they
turning
should
up.
do?
Still
They
won
should
it.
put Celtic in the Premier League for the season.
No, they should start.
Just to see how they do.
I
Do you know
reckon
what
they
I mean?
can mid
I
to
think
low
they should
table.
do that because, like, I know Scottish league is in their own, but I think they should get involved into the Premiership.
Well, you have Welsh teams in the Premier League.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
we
they've had
haven't
to.
got a
They're
Welsh-
actually in the English league, though, aren't
Yeah.
they?
I know, but then why can't we just have a British league?
That's what they want to do.
That's what they want to do.
They should do it.
But they want out
should.
to the Brexit, though, don't they?
They should. They definitely should. I think Rangers wouldn't be. Rangers would get relegated straight
So
away.
Celtic guys are 13 points ahead.
Wow.
Wow.
So they basically don't have to turn up.
Is it Rangers second or?
Yeah,
is it-
Rangers
So they could
second.
just say-
They're
Joint,
big, the
joint
Rangers.
second. Joint second, though.
But that's it, they're the only competition they got is
Yeah,
Rangers.
And even them are.
That's 'cause
very
that
good. So
rivalry's
they could
there,
say
you
for
know.
the next 4 games.
don't bother
we
turning
can't
up.
bother playing now. And
They still win.
the
Yeah,
league.
they still win the league.
Yeah, they could put like B-side in for half a season.
Well, yeah, but I think in Scotland they have a weird thing. Don't they have like half? There's something weird in Scottish football, like during. Don't they split the league up or something?
Well, so you should see the
What you
snow
mean?
up there sometimes.
Well, like playing games.
Yeah, there was something. I remember someone was explaining to me before. There's some weird thing about Scottish Premier League and how they split the league up and stuff. And I might have got that completely wrong, but someone told me that before.
Oh, I don't know. No, it's a league which I think suffers from lack of competition, and I think that maybe some serious investment from Russia or the Saudis perhaps could maybe somebody
Yeah.
buys fucking Rangers and just brings Messi to Rangers. That'd be interesting.
'Cause-
But anyway, go
yeah.
back to Brendan Rodgers though.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you rate Brendan Rodgers as a manager?
Well, what's your take? 'Cause he was a Liverpool manager, wasn't he?
Yeah. What do you think?
I think he's a very good manager. I don't think he's going to give you.
Didn't he leave like under a cloud or something? No.
Not really. The thing is with it as well, I don't think he is the best manager ever, but I think he's a really good manager, and I think with a good board, that and a good what's the position called when they buy the players? What's that? It's like the link between the board and the manager. They go out and buy the player.
Oh, like the chief.
What's he called? Fucking one of those guys to work with Rodgers to find the,
The
best in the
go-getters.
market.
We'll just call him a go-getter.
Yeah, because he is good. He is good with the team. He's very much. He's got a philosophy on football, and he plays very good attacking football as well. I mean, the season where we nearly won it with Rodgers, I don't think that was all because we had Luis Suarez.
Was that when Gerrard, the famous,
Yeah.
don't let it slip, guys, don't let it slip.
Fucking Devo.
The irony,
did, didn't
the
they?
irony.
Devoed like.
Steve, what's your take on football? From someone who's not a football man, what's your take on football, just generally? Because me, Chris, and James, we're football men.
Massive football man.
What's just generally dated? What's your take on it?
Well, by not watching it,
No, just generally, what's your view on,
We've got
on
an
football?
opinion on it.
well, grumble lads kicking the ball.
Yeah, I think right. You enjoys the banter,
Absolute-
don't you?
Yeah.
it's all banter and all that. You
Yeah.
can't avoid it anyway, can you?
No.
Yeah, there's like
Like in work, that's all they talk about is football,
football, is it?
football.
Yeah.
yeah.
Funny, I actually went to a party last night, and one of my girlfriend's friends, she had the football on her phone, the Millwall game with Fulham.
Oh, right,
And,
yeah.
Oh, that screamer, the second goal they
Awful
scored.
goal.
Yeah.
What
Bleeding
a
terrible.
goal!
You got to give it.
It
to
was a
him, though.
brilliant
Yeah.
goal.
gotta give it to him.
It doesn't, it hurts if you
Still
want
gets
City
the
to do
Cardiff,
well,
yeah.
but
I think that we still got. I mean, we're 2 games ahead of Fulham, aren't we?
No, a game.
so what are they doing? Are they losing their bottle, Cardiff? Are they?
No, I don't think so. I think.
Is it? Or is just Fulham are just playing that well?
Yeah,
playing
Fulham
for
are
it, yeah.
fantastic, but the problem is we've got a game in hand, and that don't bode well venue, does it? 'Cause- and it's
Pressure's
crunch
on.
time now. You have to pick. You can't slip up.
How many more games are left now?
There's 3 more. I think Cardiff have got 3 more games.
Oh, Fulham got 2.
Fulham got 2, but they got to win obviously 3 more
yeah.
games to.
Or in case Fulham...
Unless
bottle it.
Fulham slip up, of course.
Millwall
don't look like
won a
doing-
13-game unbeaten run
Yeah, they
yesterday
were-
as well, though, so it's really
Yeah,
surprising.
yeah.
Fulham were brilliant, I've got to say.
But Fulham have been on a roll, haven't they?
Yeah, they're a
Yeah,
very
they've done-
good team.
I think they've won like 18 out of the last 21 games or something, and they've drawn the other 2 or 3.
That's
So
like
they-
championship. That's like champ man in it when you like Cardiff
But
City, you sign Bale
the
or
thing
something.
with
like-
football with me, I like the main competition like World
Yeah,
Cup
yeah.
and European
Yeah.
Cup.
Well, yeah, which is, and I do appreciate. Like, I think football's one of the
I
only.
like the international matches.
Yeah. Football's one
Judging
of
by
those
your,
sports, I think.
Welsh football.
Yeah, you're
t-shirt
wearing a
this
Welsh
morning.
football shirt today, Steve.
Yeah, summer. Well, was.
Yeah, it was summer.
Suns out, guns out, innit?
Yep.
2 days of it. But football is one of the only sports, I guess, where you've got mediocre players on massive wages. I think that, and I can understand the money issue in football.
Oof. Glad you came on to money.
Right, go on.
Did you see the statistics this week about the Premier League revenue soaring now to 4.5 billion
Wow.
quid?
That's a lot of money,
Unbelievable, isn't
Steve.
there? So the biggest rise was obviously in their profits was they got a 5.13 billion league deal between Sky and BT Sports.
Wow.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? You know, and
No wonder they can afford to pay their players so much money.
wow, how much? Hazard a guess at how much? So this is between years 16 and 17, so last season.
Yeah.
How much? In response, so what they've done, they've looked at the difference between 2015-16 season and 2016-17. So how much wages were they spent in 2005? The latest ones then.
God, how much in wages?
How
What
much
do
you reckon the
Steve?
club spent?
3 billion quid, 3.5 billion.
Oh, not that bad. Actually.
Oh, well, hey. How much? Go on.
2.5 billion.
Jesus Christ.
But
that's a lot,
surprisingly,
isn't it?
actually, the season before, this is before the TV money came in, they spent 2.3 billion. It's only 200 million more.
Yeah.
That's surprising, actually, isn't it? When you think, do you know what, like in the papers and stuff, when they say, oh, footballers are earning more and more, even though they obviously are earning more, if you think that's 20 clubs or so, isn't it? And it's only gone up by 200 million. And I know 200 million is a lot of money, but when you talk about football, 200 million is nothing now, is it? You know? And
Peanuts, no.
revenue, so of 4.5 billion quid they made. Net player trading costs. That's interesting, actually. So they spent the same money, 400 million in both seasons.
Still mental money, though, isn't it? You're talking
No,
about
it is
ridiculous.
it's
obscene amounts of
incredible
money.
money. But when you think they had 4 billion or 5 billion between them,
So many things you could do in the world to
Yeah.
help, and
Yeah, no, it's true.
and
And
for that, it's like
Yeah.
it is stupid money
yeah, it is stupid.
just for
money.
kicking a ball
Yeah.
in any sport. No sport is worth that much
no,
money.
you're quite right. And so, Steve, talking about money, keeping that thread going. Euro lottery last night, 110
Oh,
million.
yeah.
Is it?
Did you win it?
No, I wish I put it on.
Oh, you
Oh,
didn't
you
do it,
hadn't-
did you?
I didn't know about
But
it.
if you're not in it,
I don't want much. I don't watch much TV, so I don't
Yeah.
know what's advertised on.
Well, it was on the radio, coincidentally, so I thought.
I listen to
bugger.
hard radio, and
Oh, do
I
you?
try not to listen to hard radio.
Oh, well, like, it was just on the radio on the way to work, and I need to get petrol, so I thought, oh, bugger, I'll go and get a lottery ticket. So hopefully, Steve, you don't see me next week for 110 million.
Well, no one won it.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but you. Yeah.
But how only thing I don't get, how does it like build up to how much? Like
This is
the
Euro-
lottery in this country, you guarantee most people win in a week, and if there is a rollover, it's like 10 million.
Yeah, yeah.
And like with the Euro, it's all European.
Yeah.
And you can't get on.
Yeah, no, because before the lottery used to get massive, didn't it? Like back in
years
the
and
day,
years
wasn't
and
it, like-
years ago, it was like bloody 40 million quid or something,
Was it?
wasn't there? Remember years ago, I remember someone won 40 million. And did they win 40 million? When
Something
it
like
first
that.
started.
Oh, was
Look,
it
the
20
biggest
million?
UK ever lottery win.
Okay. I don't know.
Because I remember back in the day, like people were winning loads, but now, like,
It's just a normal thing now, and
Yeah, you really hear about it, do you? Jesus Christ, if I won 20 million quid, I'd be telling everyone. Would you?
no,
You wouldn't.
no.
I'd be freaking getting luminous signs.
I wouldn't want anyone to know that one.
Yeah, actually, think about it, Steve. You get everyone coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
you'll get your false friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember you. Oh.
Remember I
Yeah.
lent you my lawnmower? Oh, wow. So the biggest ever lottery win for British people, so this is UK lottery and Euro Millions. Chris and Colin Weir, 161 million.
Was it?
Bloody hell.
But that must be
2011 that
Yeah,
was.
that must be the Euro lottery. That's
Yeah,
a
that
lot
was
of-
so they were richer than Ringo Starr and Tom Jones.
Tom
So
Jones.
she's a psychiatric nurse, 55, and Mr. Weir, a TV cameraman. He must have been on a pretty pop anyway, mustn't he?
Yeah. It's about lottery winnings, Jim. 161, the biggest ever
161
UK lottery
million.
win.
Is anyone won it then?
No,
This was in
saying it was the
2011.
Oh, right.
was.
It was
How
the
much?
Euro
100
lottery.
61 million pounds.
The last night, the Euro.
But to be fair, she was a psychiatric nurse, so that's a decent wage anyway. And he was a TV cameraman.
Imagine they'd done that based on your wages. They determine whether or not you actually deserve that money.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, another one. The next biggest one, 148 million. Where are these people bloody winning? How come I never hear about all
Yeah,
this?
we were just saying, you don't need
It's a lot,
about
a lot of Brits win the Euro Millions,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
They seem to.
I think
to.
So after Brexit, we can't get in there on that
Oh,
action
what
anymore.
happened then? I really wonder.
Yeah, that's true. I need to cancel my subscription.
Oh,
£2.50 a pop now.
We were saying
I
last
wish
night.
I didn't vote fucking leave.
I know.
Imagine that a Brexiteer wins the biggest Euro Millions jackpot ever.
Yeah,
I typically imagine that
Imagine
Brussels
that.
would be going mad.
It's
wouldn't
like,
they?
fuck you.
Yeah.
And he starts funding Farage or something with his
The
winnings.
third biggest lottery win in British history is 113 million quid, and they're anonymous.
Yeah, I would be, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Thinking
like
about
that.
it initially, I thought I'd tell everyone, but
No,
no, I
would
wouldn't
I
tell no
fuck?
one.
It's unbelievable. Some of
You'd
these
be
lottery
getting
wins.
everyone around your house.
Oh,
wouldn't you?
yeah. Blowjobs galore, like offers, you know.
Oh,
Anyway.
a lot of
Stuffed
them.
off on
actually.
planes.
Getting
Stuffed
sucked
off
off
planes,
on
wouldn't you, Jim?
planes.
But no, we were just saying it was 110 million last night, and nowadays the lottery, when it first started, people were almost like minor celebrities who'd won, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were in
yeah,
the papers,
Yeah,
and now you
they'll
don't
have
hear nothing.
documentaries made of them, how
Yeah.
they won the lottery. Well, just a pound.
And then you see them like 2
Okay.
years later, and they're bloody on the streets, and they.
Oh, yeah.
Wife's
Jumped up
got
on,
boobs out here. They've got
crack,
they've
their
duck
nose is
lips.
missing, yeah.
It was like the guy, the lotto lout, wasn't it? Who won like however
Yeah,
much spent on
like
drugs.
helicopters.
Was it Michael
and stuff
Carroll or
like that.
something?
Michael, yeah, he was. Yeah,
Proper
Michael-
chavvy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I saw a documentary though on him a few years after he'd won, and it was that guy Lily Allen's dad did the documentary on
Keith
him.
Allen.
Keith Allen,
Allen,
and apparently he said, well, he actually hadn't like blown all his money, and he was just deployed for people to leave him alone.
Ah, that's not a bad idea. then, if
good
you
idea.
Just
don't
make
know
it
that.
look like a lout, so no one bothers him. No one.
But
no
not only
one's-
that, he's making money on the documentary as well, so he's getting money off
Well,
that.
didn't he win like 25 million?
And, and
Keith
plus,
Allen?
Was it Keith Allen that did it?
Keith Allen? Was it Keith Allen?
I don't know. That sticks out at him.
Did he do that Diana documentary?
yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Keith Allen, Lily Allen's.
Because they believe that the Queen killed Diana, don't they?
Oh.
What do we-
Oh,
I-
Chris's territory there.
No, I was reading about this yesterday about
The letters and all
Princess
that?
Diana sort of conspiracy and things like that. And apparently, like a lot in America, obviously they believe it, but most people in Britain, the highest proportion of people that believe in it, are British.
Yeah, well, I knocked
That
him
the
off.
Queen. That
I mean,
I think the
Queen-
person of Britain just don't care.
if you can imagine, it just sounds
I think
so
they don't
odd.
care. Yeah, but I think because they don't care about the royal family, they will believe that
Oh, the
royal family
Americans
killed
love
Diana.
the royal family. They absolutely love the royal
Yeah,
family.
because
the British aren't.
they got nothing in America.
no-
They're royalties,
Well,
they're
they
president.
love
and
like the
the
royals, and
president
they
sucks.
love all that sort of
Yeah.
sort of like
That's it, they're glad that Harry's marrying American.
yeah. Oh god, that'll set them off.
Wait,
won't it?
didn't someone back in the day, Monica Lewinsky, wasn't she American who ran off with didn't she run off with the prince?
No,
The
Monica
advert-
No, she
Lewinsky
sucked
was
off
the-
Oh,
Bill
she sucked off Bill
Oh,
Clinton.
what am I on
yeah.
about then?
Very blowy.
Oh,
And
yeah.
sort of like
I was going to say,
oriented.
she's been around.
Was it Grace Kelly? I think she
was some-
married the Prince of Monaco.
There's some
Yeah,
celebrities in the
there was-
history of married royals.
Yeah, because he
That's
disappeared. He
yeah, that's
abdicated
right,
then.
right? Yeah, you are right, yeah.
Mrs. What was her name?
I don't
Have
know
a
who
look,
you're
have a
talking
look. There was some American and he
Grace-
abdicated. Remember
All
then
right.
what
I
was
don't
that
know.
film about the King's speech?
I
The one who
don't
couldn't
know.
speak.
All right,
That's
yeah.
how he become king, wasn't it? Because didn't he have some. The brother abdicated for something and he ran off with some woman. I might have got this completely wrong,
I
but
don't
I think
know.
I think you're making this up.
no, I'm sure he did. He advocated. But it wasn't Monica Lewinsky.
Definitely wasn't Monica Lewinsky.
Definitely
No,
wasn't
she
it,
was
okay.
sucking off
But
presidents.
it's really
Oh, okay.
interesting anyway
I
that
could not have
that
sex
Diana
with that woman.
conspiracy, isn't it? Because you know, when you look at the driver, and wasn't he like, I don't know, 10 times over the drink drive limit or something
There's
like that?
there's a
lot
lot
of
to
weird
it.
stuff.
Like, I mean, I think you find there's a lot of documentaries on YouTube about it, but I mean, whenever there's a conspiracy involving the Queen, I always believe it. To be honest, I think
Yeah.
she's a fucking lizard.
A
reptilian.
reptilian.
She's a fucking
She's
lizard.
reptilian-esque, isn't she?
Slimy.
They live forever, man.
They do live forever, don't they, the royals?
Look at the Queen's mother. How old was she?
But it's
Like
not 95 or 97 or
No,
something.
yeah.
she was over 100.
She wasn't, was she?
She was.
I think she was. Yeah.
She?
Yeah.
They look great, though.
She had a 100
say,
birthday
like,
card off her daughter.
I mean, you could either argue, right, that the reptilian, child-eating fucking humanoids from hell, or they
I
just got a
believe.
very good lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think they're fucking child-eating lizards,
Yeah.
humanoids from hell. To
On the
be
balance
honest.
of probability, yeah.
I just think that they just got the best of. Imagine like
Because they got the best of everything.
No stress.
I don't know. I
You
think
know?
it probably would be stressful to be a royal.
No,
Yeah.
what?
Well, you're scrutinised every single day, no
Every
matter
day
what.
you can't
You're
like.
scrutinized anyway. You just fucking don't get the money for it.
Yeah.
Well, imagine that. Like, say you just want to go to Starbucks for coffee.
Yeah, but Chris, you wouldn't have to. You just get someone else to do it. No
Yeah,
one
but
likes
Tom-
going to Starbucks.
I love that. Whoa, latte. Now, let's go.
Yeah.
But,
Hey,
but think about
hurry
that
up.
though. You just want to go, I don't know, out for a drive or whatever.
Yeah, but they'll
You
probably
need
go to
you-
Colombia and get a proper coffee.
Yeah, you get it imported. Like.
Yes.
I want to, yeah.
What you need to do if you want to go out,
Fuck
right? Just get
Starbucks,
yourself
I'm
some
going to Colombia.
fucking, some old ass
No,
Capri,
Steve, you're going to
Yeah.
a dodgy looking Mac, and just go for a drive around
But
town.
that's what happened with Prince Harry. Remember when he went on a nuts one in Las Vegas? And like he was
Somebody
just
dressed up
Yeah,
as
but did he
Hitler.
dress up as a Nazi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he dressed up and he had like all these girls in like the hot tub and all that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like he was.
Are you telling me he's stressed?
No, I don't think. But I mean, like he was trying to be just a normal, just live his life. And now it's all over the papers.
Well,
all
it's
these
just a
girls
normal posh kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all-
Yeah.
all these
A
A
girls.
posh kid
kid.
with money having parties in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Which no poor people like myself could ever do.
Talking about
Because
pop-
we normally used to go down fucking Tenby, get a candy floss and a pack of ciders. That's what we
And
want
sit
to
on
do.
a bench.
Did anyone watch that
Shouting
program
at
on
the
Channel
seagulls.
5 and it was called Rich Kids? Like I don't know what it's called actually.
I
And you-
can't,
and you-
I can't watch programs.
Well,
like that.
they had this
Yeah,
really
it
rich
makes
kid
you
and he
angry.
went to live
Yeah.
with a really poor family. It was like ridiculous. He went to
can
live with
imagine
he was like, I think he was like in his early 20s or whatever. His parents had bought him a house in London.
Oh my god,
That's
that's for a
all.
lot of money.
He said on a night out, sometimes he spent over $1,000 on a night
Well,
out.
he just
He needs to be
gets slapped.
punched in the
He
face.
has a watch. That
I'm
was,
sorry, I know I swear a lot, but what a cunt.
Yeah.
Like, that is just
It
ridiculous.
was funny though because like he was showing like this, and I felt really bad. You know, I felt so sorry for this poor family because they were like they I think their food budget for the month was 150 quid.
And he
a
just
month.
blows it like...
That's what I like about Ricky Gervais when he says why you won't have kids.
Yeah,
Because
'cause he's-
I got loads of money.
Yeah,
I'll end up
exactly.
having a kid and he'd be a cunt.
Yeah. it's good logic, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know what
This
I mean?
kid, he was a
brutally
twat. Like and like he was like, oh, my watch is like $4,000.
Just want to
And-
throw
and,
that
like,
in there.
he
How's your
went-
fish fingers?
But the thing is, like, did he
How's
say-
your fish fingers and peas? My watch is $4,000,
Yeah.
everyone.
Did he say that in front of the family, though?
Well, I don't know. He was a bit like, to be honest, when you first saw the intro, he did look like a bit of a twat. He was like, like, you know, do
Just
proper
bragging.
that, like,
Yeah,
oh,
playing up to it now.
You know, in December we go skiing in
Yeah.
in Spain. In the summer we go
Oh,
to
and what
Saint-Tropez.
did he work?
The closest I get to Saint-Tropez is the fucking Saint-Tropez bloody sun cream.
What, did he
And I
work
get to
or
his-
just scrounged off his
'cause
parents?
He literally, he said he got up like 10 o'clock, went to the gym.
Oh, I think I've seen
went for
that.
food
Yeah,
with
I
his
think I've
mates,
seen that.
Then went shopping, then went out on a night out.
So
It's-
he
it's a
never
sad
earned
life.
money himself.
No, he said he had a job for a very short period of time and then it didn't work out, i.e. he got fired.
Yeah, so he's being funded by his parents
Yeah,
rather
he's
than the
been-
state.
he's
Oh, blame his parents then for having
Yeah.
a cunt like that.
But imagine that, imagine that though, you know. and
Yeah, we've created a cunt.
It's car crash
should be
TV
one of-
though, isn't it? You know, this
I
kid-
think people think right. Shows that do well are shows where people either simultaneously love and
Yeah.
hate
Yeah,
what's
that
going
person.
on
Yeah.
their TV screen. And a program like that, people will love to watch it out of interest, but also
And
hate
hate
to
them.
watch
Yeah.
it. And will be all over social media. Did you
Yeah.
see this prick with his $4,000 watch?
But towards the end, though, I did feel that he was very humbled by it. And
Nah,
he,
it's
was,
bollocks.
he felt
yeah, and then he goes
embarrassed by
back home to mummy, splurges out. and goes,
Well, he
oh,
did-
there's poor people with their fish fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's just blowing fucking wads on God knows what, buying yachts and all
Well,
sorts.
years ago, did you see there was a document? It was a series on BBC, and it was politicians that
Yeah,
had to go live with the
what's
lowest
his
1% or
name?
whatever.
Oh, God, what was
it
his
was Winston
name?
Churchill's son, wasn't it?
But they had to live on minimum
Yes,
wage. is
they
it?
had-
They had these people were under like the poverty. They were just like really
Proper
poor.
brassic.
And that's really really
Oh,
interesting.
Jeffrey Archer,
though.
did he do it?
But didn't
Jeffrey
he?
Archer?
I can't
Might
remember.
have
No,
been,
was it Portillo or something?
Michael Portillo.
Was it Michael
I
Portillo?
can't remember. It was around for a little
Didn't
while.
didn't he say that after the whole thing, living with them and experiencing their life, but didn't he say then at the end, actually, I think they can get by quite all right?
What a prick!
Didn't he say so?
What
I swear
an
that was the
absolute
case.
As soon as
Wow.
he's shutting the door, he's like, oh,
He's like, oh,
when they go
it's
in
difficult, but
when
I'm
they go
sure
in
if they-
supermarkets, he's like paying up beans. Oh, 17p. I don't know what they're complaining about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But but that's the difference, though. It's okay to say that when you're a millionaire. When you're
Yeah.
sitting there and you're in Parliament and you're
Oh,
earning
yeah, you're counting
a
your
few
fingers.
$100,000 a year.
Yeah.
I was watching this. What was that?
I say he only lived there for a week.
Yeah.
That's fuck all. You gotta live for life. to
Forever, yeah, yeah.
Understand
Yeah.
what we go through.
Oh yeah, he's fucking back
Yeah,
going
he's
to
going
his
back to
normal
college.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got no
They are
insight.
bullshit programs. So
Yeah,
I don't
they
know
got
what they're
no
trying to
insight
prove. What
into
are we trying to make the rich feel sorry for the
Oh,
poor?
make it more
I
human.
think what they were trying to do in this thing, it was actually
Tugging on heartstrings.
to me, it just seemed like the woman who I did feel very, very, very sorry for. But I think she had like 3 kids and she was a single mother and she was like working.
Yeah,
half a
yeah.
I hate
job
it when
and
these rich people do these sponsors fucking sleep outside with the homeless.
Yeah.
Just sort of like, just as nobody feels like fuck off.
What pissed
Yeah.
me off? Did you watch that?
So false. Isn't it?
No.
I do that most Saturday nights when I'm walking home. I'll have crash up, but yeah, fuck
Well,
off,
did
get money.
anyone watch that
Put you over.
thing? The full.
Just wake up
the
around
full
to change
Monty
around
show?
me.
The full Monty.
So they had a men's one. They did
Oh,
a full
yes.
Monty for charity.
I'm angry at that.
Did you see it?
Right,
Go
go
on,
on,
go
go
on
on.
then,
I saw
Rat.
the
Right,
so
so I don't know
women's.
what it is. So you tell me what it is, and then you tell me why you're angry. Go.
So it was celebrities. They were doing. It was a group of men,
Right.
famous, arguably famous people, and a group of women, wasn't there? And then they were trying to raise money for cancer.
Okay.
Breast cancer.
Yeah, so
Breast cancer,
they did a
testicle
dance.
cancer for the guys.
Yeah.
They did a dance, and anyway, they got
Makes
naked
sense.
in the end.
Oh, so like a TV reality show,
yeah,
is it?
TV reality show.
And the money goes to
Ratty,
charity. What was wrong with that then?
Well, let me tell you here,
Okay.
the money goes to. They all got paid 10 grand each to do this. 10 grand each.
It's
to
for
do
charity, though.
this.
Why are they getting paid for it?
Well, not just that. Didn't they only make
Oh,
like 4 grand or something?
That's not my argument, though.
Go on, Rat. Go on.
Go on,
My
Steve.
argument, right? It's called the full Monty. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
See where
women
this is going. Yeah.
did not do the full Monty.
What do they do then? Just show their.
They
boobs?
just wore a leotard and one girl flashed her breast. All the others were all covered up.
Which girl?
Full Monty to me is the full work shebang.
Yeah.
Steve was
Off,
gutted.
off.
He did, he
Yeah,
got 2
no,
hours
no.
into that.
Don't advertise the program for Monty.
Which one got it? Which
and
one
they
got
got
it?
they got praise for doing it. All right, it's good cause, but like you said, they got paid 10 grand for doing it. But they didn't do the full Monty.
But
And
they-
people were going, and if you're looking at the audience, most of them are fucking women, and there's about 50 of them. If you can just see women taking off their clothes, you want a fucking 100 rowdy men with beer in a fucking hand screaming at them, off.
Loads of sailors out of me just see for like 6 months. I haven't seen a woman.
I was expecting some moral fucking dilemma in
I
Ratty
was
as well,
as well.
but it's like I didn't see enough tits. I totally
Steve
agree,
was
though.
gutted. You put 2
No,
hours
ju-
in that, didn't
I
you,
like
Steve?
the thing is, though,
Actually.
it's false advertisement.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny though, because they would have been better off just giving 200 grand.
I didn't see the
Charity?
men because I'm not interested in the men. I just.
They
Oh,
should
no.
have. They should have. Right. They should have done what they were supposed to have done and do it for nothing.
Yeah, they knew
Or
they knew
everyone
they were
gets
doing it
naked.
for
Yeah.
charity, and they failed to deliver.
Yeah. Totally,
I was
mate.
really annoyed to hear that actually, because it did make out that actually they were doing it for their whatever. But there's always something in it though. They were always promoting something, aren't they? And wait, I want to know which one got a bits out there.
I can't.
was the older one, wasn't it?
She
One of
was.
the-
Yeah, she
the
was.
Nobel
The older one, was it?
No, she didn't get her tits out.
Do a low angle shot of it.
But that's it though. This wasn't just to like they would have just been better off giving the bloody money to
But they had
charity.
leotards anyway. So to me, full Monty is full
full
Monty.
Monty,
If they said half Monty charity thing, then I wouldn't be as judgmental.
You
But
make
when
your
you say
decision when
full
you do.
Monty, it means fucking the full work, the birthday suit.
Yeah, I guess so. But that show anyway, well worth watching next week. It's like these rich
doing it again,
kids.
are they?
Yeah, these rich kids just go to these really.
No, Rich House, Poor House is called, isn't it?
No, it wasn't Rich House Poor House. It was something else, and the kid was like, I did end up feeling sorry for him in the end though,
Why is that,
because
man?
she was like, oh, can I see your Rolex? And he was like, "Oh, I don't know," like getting really shy.
You would be
knowing that-
embarrassed, wouldn't you? Like I would be embarrassed if I went to a house knowing like these people are getting by 150 quid a week, a month, and I've got a freaking watch worth $4,000. That's basically a
Do you know what?
year's.
I wouldn't take my watch.
Yeah, that's true.
No, but you know what I
Shitty
mean. Morally,
Casio
though,
one.
To him,
From
though,
Argos.
it's like
For
it's
one, I
not
think they're
normal.
fucking Nick.
Imagine
Why?
that.
Because I fucking would.
Yeah.
I Nick his
That
fucking
would-
watch.
But yeah,
Come in my house with a $4,000 watch. Coming off you can.
I did really feel sorry for him in the end though, and but again though, it's easy for I think the guy was saying he spends 150 quid a week on food on himself.
That's
And
a
the
lot.
woman was like,
What?
"That's a lot of food."
Yeah, well, it depends where you're shopping. I mean,
Well, he
if you
lives in
shop
London.
If you're getting takeaways,
He don't go to McDonald's
gotta do
or
that,
bloody
I do.
chunky chicken, does he?
he's missing out, man.
But it's really easy for really wealthy people to comment on the stat. You know, you were saying Michael Portillo. He said that you know they were easy to.
Yeah, but they did what? Experience it for what? Like a week, 2
Exactly.
weeks, and that's it. They got
And
back to their
it's
rest
not just that,
lifestyle.
you know. Say you
You
on-
could, if I had to face hardship for a week, my whole mental approach would be so different to somebody who doesn't realise that that's only for the week. In fact, that's for the rest of your life.
yeah, or
That adds loads more on to just working out a very tight budget.
Yeah.
There's depression involved,
Stress.
there's fear, there's stress. I mean, so it doesn't matter how they do it.
Yeah.
They'll never fully truly understand the predicament of somebody who's on very, very low
no,
wage.
you're
imagine that you earn like $6,000 a year or whatever it's like.
Yeah.
Working part time, you've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
Your fridge breaks down.
Yeah.
And people
That's
go,
it,
"Oh, they're
yeah.
really irresponsible for going to these payday lenders."
Yeah. But
Not
then
the
they
time
can't
that
get
the
the
only ones that
credit.
they
or you
can-
just get a stupid advert. Then a quick quid.
Yeah.
But that's it though.
Put me in more debt.
But that's it though. That's the only.
Fred's coming around with a baseball bat.
Those are generally the only ones that
Yeah,
are lending money,
Yeah, yeah.
and not just that, you know, and like and
It
what
is
I-
difficult, definitely.
I was watching this, you know, being a father now, to get to sit around watching daytime TV. It got really depressing, like watching Jeremy Kyle every day. So I went to watch.
What do you wait there? Why do you watch Jeremy Kyle every day? It's depressing. The first.
It's terrible.
Do you know what? But treat it like
You
a
get
social
soaked in it,
studies,
yeah.
though. Treat
Yeah.
it like a social studies, honestly.
I want to just see any
The
fit
thing
women
is,
on
though,
it.
it just seems like Jeremy Kyle is making absolutely shitloads of money off other people's
Yeah,
misfortunes.
of course he is. Yeah.
He's another sanctimonious twat.
Yeah.
Isn't
I
he?
met Jeremy Kyle before. Didn't like him.
No.
Didn't like. He was
Screaming
really
and shouting at
freaking-
people.
Yes or no, Tom? Yes or no?
He was a bit of a dick. He was arrogant. He didn't. I remember asking him some sort of question. I can't remember. He just freaking walked straight past me. Didn't
It's really
bother.
funny though, because didn't he have like an affair with a really young girl?
Yeah,
or
he's a
something?
freaking-
Yeah.
So he's like slagging
Gambling
people
as
off
well,
for
isn't
doing
he?
it,
Yeah.
and anyway,
Yeah, and he with the nanny or something like that.
something like that, yeah. But anyway, I got a bit bored watching daytime TV, so I was watching.
He was a gambler addict, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was, yeah.
He was like the best of us. But what was that thing? I always say it wrong. Carleon,
Carleon.
Carleon.
the
Place in Newport.
building company.
Oh, Carillion.
Oh, Carleon, yeah.
So
Carleon's a place in
No, I know
Newport.
that now. So Carillion then. So he was doing an investigation into Carillion. Do you know, like he went bankrupt and this
Yeah.
and that. And they were talking to all the people that were like in charge of it, and they were saying, "What were you doing? What were you doing?" And anyway, the guy that's the chief of the Department for Work and Pensions was speaking to the chief executive of Carillion,
All right, yeah.
and he was saying how many people have lost their jobs and how many people had lost their pensions, and he was like 65,000 people.
Wow.
And he was like,
that's
and the
mental.
guy, and the guy was like, "Oh, we're really sorry, we're really sorry."
Yeah, as he's pushing all the freaking.
But then
millions
he
into his
said,
bank.
but then this guy from the Department for Work and Pensions said, "Well, how much money did you earn?"
Yeah.
I only earned £50,000 as a member of the committee or something, and £250,000 a year as for my thing." And he was like, "Well, wait there. Over the time you were there, how much did you earn? 900, almost £1 million."
Wow.
And it was like,
It's so corrupt.
Yeah.
It's so fucking corrupt.
but it's okay for him to say how sorry he is. This millionaire.
It don't mean dick when somebody's future's fucked.
Does
is
he
it?
care about these
Does he
65?
Look, you put a sorry little face on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Oh, and then you fuck off going, "Oh, these wankers now. I've got
Yeah.
my millions in the bank. What do I give a shit about?"
Because when these companies go bankrupt, the people at the top make sure they get their pensions.
all the
They
shareholders.
all cash in, don't they?
Yeah, they'll cash it in.
But
and make
this
sure
is
they're
what they were saying.
sorted.
They were saying that like shareholders and stuff started cashing in all their
Yeah,
shares.
that's what they do.
Yeah.
They see the sick shit.
They all
like
know in
rats,
advance
innit?
too, so
Yeah.
the people on the shop floor have no idea what the
Yeah.
fuck's
They
going
know
on.
when they turn up for work one day and the doors
They
are
make
locked.
sure they're sorted and
Fingers
all their pals are
crossed.
sorted. No, but they do though, don't they? They know they're all sorted,
true,
and then
yeah.
they leave all the scraps for the people at the bottom.
Yeah.
But that's what he's
If there's
saying.
any scraps there
The
to be
bottom
had.
feeders.
And then they have a go on for being
Exactly.
greedy.
Just going
Oh,
back, just going back to how you know how these wealthy are like really. It's really easy for them to comment on poor people's sort of lives. It's easy for that guy to say how sorry he is. He earned almost £1 million.
£1 million. I'd be sorry as well. Oh, yeah, I say for £1 million.
65,000 people. Just 65,000 people that are going to lose their homes, and they're going to they're going to be like, oh, okay. He's sorry. This millionaire is really sorry that I lost.
But this
everything.
gullible twat, like, oh, well, he is sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it ain't his
No, he's
fault.
not sorry. He's sorry he's been pulled into an inquiry.
Did they?
But it's kind of like in my job, and it's really sad because we work in a community centre, and you see these poor people, like some people who were literally reliant on food parcels. They're literally screwed. Like all their weight is food parcels. Their benefits have been screwed up, and it's true. Like before I worked in benefits, I used to hear people going, "Oh, my benefit used to stop for no reason," and it does happen. Like I work with people just last week, a couple of people's benefits could stop for no reason.
Yeah.
And it does happen. You know when you go all these
They're the people who don't know the system.
Yeah, it's true. And
Some
it just
families,
happens.
though, as much as I have, and as much as I think that politicians and these big corporations are just, terrible fucking people
they're
with no moral
vultures, they're
compass.
freaking
But I
psychopaths.
do question some poor families who insist on having more fucking kids when they can't afford the first one or two.
naturally, yeah.
And that I don't understand. If you are having kids, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you got one, now maybe two, and it's tight.
Hey, I'm in that category.
Here we go. But it's tight. Why have any more?
Yeah, well, you've got to take responsibility as well, haven't you?
Because
People
I
have to
think
take responsibility.
what the benefits what the benefit system does as well is it can make people dependent upon it.
Well, it's
because
capped in now, though, isn't it?
Because
Yeah,
also
they've
if
capped
you're
it now.
claiming benefits, right, you're also you can't work a certain amount of hours.
Yeah.
My
The
parents
system
So people
traps
actively
people.
choose not to do any more hours.
Well, it
Well,
it
my
traps
parents
people,
have a
see?
company, don't they? And
Was
they
it
have some
16
people that
hours a
can't,
week or something like
that
that?
literally can't work any more than 16 hours a week, less
that's
if
right,
they do
yeah.
all their benefits. And like some people actually do want to work more, but imagine like you so 16 hours you have your rent and everything paid for. You work 17 hours.
Boom, gone.
Yeah,
Stop.
it's all gone. You have to pay all
You
your-
should have some type of easing in, like
Well,
you
that's
should
what
have
universal credit's meant to do.
Yeah, well, you
It's
should have some
meant to-
type of assessment. They go, right, okay, we notice you're working hours. Can you actually secure these hours?
well, this
And
is
if you say yeah, well, fine, okay, well then we're going to decrease how much we're helping you out because you can gain more
But
hours.
it's difficult, for employers because my parents, as I said, they've got a business, and their business, they're not guaranteed work every week.
So they have
so
0 hour
they
contracts.
can't
The
give,
nature of
they by their very nature have to give people 0 hour
Yeah.
contracts because the nature of the work they're in. Tomorrow,
Yeah.
they might lose 3/4 of their contracts.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
just
how
cutthroat,
are you
innit?
going to then pay 20 people 45 hours or
Mm.
35 hours a week when you don't know how much hours you're going to get?
Yeah,
You'll make
yeah.
yourself bankrupt.
Yeah.
And the government doesn't seem to be helping people out like that. Big businesses, and people like Sky and all these massive companies get massive tax breaks.
Yeah, they don't
and
Oh,
these
it's ridiculous.
companies like that are getting massive sort of like support from the government. The government seems to help some companies out and not other companies.
Yeah.
It's just this sad reality that every government that we have is just corrupt.
Well, the people at the top, you've got to think about these people. They're psychopathic by their nature.
Oh, yeah, to
'Cause
get
who
to the
would-
top, you got to be, haven't
Well,
you?
who would want to go into a role where you control people's lives and dictate? It's psychopathic people. People
Yeah.
who are men,
Yeah.
who have these, gods. What was it called? Gods.
Complexes.
God complex.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
why would you want to be controlling people's
See,
lives? Why would you, wouldn't it?
now, okay, we're going to get a bit political now, right? But this is
Go on.
why I kind of like Corbyn.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
he seems like a guy who feels he must become a leader to make change happen.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how he comes across.
Yeah.
Whether that's
Yeah.
the truth, I don't know.
I hope so. He seems different, doesn't
He
he?
does seem different.
This is why
And
they're
that's
scared
just
of
what
him,
we're
isn't it?
all looking for.
A change,
Is
yeah.
a massive change. And the more the media goes after him over anti-Semitic behaviour and all the rest of it,
Yeah, you're right.
the more I think, I just think you just see a potential leader.
Yeah, they're just trying to
think you
throw
see
anything,
somebody
aren't they?
who's going to change because the culprits really in all this, right, is the media.
Yeah.
The way they
when
show
papers
the
sponsored
truth.
by one group and the other papers sponsored by other groups, so
They got
they be
vets-
biased.
Yeah,
to-
exactly. They're biased interest, and it's all fucking propaganda
Yeah.
to trick you and I to go down a certain way of
Yeah.
thinking.
I
And I'm
think,
fucking
though-
fed up of all of us being constantly manipulated, right? To believe and think a certain way. It's just not on, and that's the way.
Yeah.
That's the media. That's
Yeah,
modern
yeah.
media.
No, I
and
agree.
this is why I'm glad for social media, and because there are other avenues
Yeah.
of media and consuming your media and getting the truth. But Corbyn, I mean, he comes across a bit of a pacifist. I don't think he hates the Jews.
I don't think he does at all. I think that
I get some drinks.
and ironically, the more shit they're throwing at him, I think the more people are actually
People are
saying,
staunch like you actually know, because this seems a very...
convenient, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Very convenient. There's an election coming up, and it comes out he's anti-Semitic.
I don't
It's like,
think
oh,
that guy's
when's the
anti-Semitic.
election coming up?
man.
He won't ride on public transport, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in killing people.
Yeah, well,
But that's no. But
good.
he's one thing I disagree
I
with.
bloody love that he's doing
This War Power Act, is it the War Power Act is called? Basically, he wants, because at the moment, because of the attacks in Syria, Theresa May doesn't have to get permission from Parliament to do it. What he's saying is we should make sure, we should put an act in place where any leader has to go to Parliament. In
I
order
don't
to
know
engage
about
in
that,
war.
though, Jim.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah. No.
I think...
If you're in power, you gotta have that power.
Yeah, you've got to give
exactly.
that
I
autonomy.
think what we need to do is stop putting morons in fucking power.
Yeah.
That's what we really need to be doing.
Yeah, because not just that, you know, Parliament, they go on bloody, they're only in for a certain time of the year.
they're on
so
summer
what happens?
holiday.
What
Was
happens
that-
when they go on summer holiday? We'll have to, we'll wait 6 weeks where
Yeah.
we decide about this and
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
fuck you,
times in
you're the
freaking
leader.
London.
You make a
Yeah.
decision.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
If I want a cup of tea in my house, I ain't waiting for a meeting. I bloody go and do it. If I don't want to bake more. Anyway,
Cabinet meeting in there.
did anyone see this story today that these Canadian girls, drug smugglers, were posting pictures on Instagram about their little endeavours.
Right.
The police looked at it and thought, we'll look into this. So,
So they're
Basically, they had evidence of them doing the stuff and got caught.
so they were they were posting
people can't help themselves nowadays.
they were posting pictures of their really exclusive holiday in Australia on
Right.
Instagram. Basically, they were just smuggling drugs. They were.
So did they have what photos of the drugs or them smuggling drugs or anything like that?
Well, no, they didn't have them smuggling drugs. They were just like young girls in the middle of like really exotic places. They couldn't help putting pictures on Instagram.
Probably
So
someone
because
grassed
they're
them up,
young
didn't
girls in
they?
exotic places, that made the police suspicious.
Yeah,
Someone probably
of course.
grassed. I reckon
Obviously,
someone probably
obviously,
grassed
someone's just seen them and thought, "You fucking bitches."
Is
Here
that
we go.
suspicious though?
Someone obviously grassed them up, didn't they?
Let me give you some of the facts then.
Got it,
Maybe
yeah.
how long they stayed there for and stuff like
So-
that, maybe.
The girl called Melina with 2 accomplices embarked on a around the world cruise, taking in a number of exotic locations before 95 kilograms, and 95 kilograms of cocaine, I assume.
She's a
was
mule.
found
She's a mule.
on the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so she
What did
she
they do? Hide it
admitted.
in luggage or did they do it internally?
All right, he's getting
Well,
That's
sassy.
with this. See, that's a lot to put internally, isn't it?
I tell you what, there's been fucking.
What this
loads
girl
of drugs
said was
found
I
in
was
human
meant to be
bodies,
there.
Loads.
and
packed in the intestines.
so what they said is that there was a front. They were putting pictures on Instagram
Yeah.
to make it look like they were on holiday. So what she said is, I was meant to be there to make it look like it was holiday and look like a cover for everyone else. I'm really sorry. I should have thought about my consequence and not what I'd have gotten for it. So obviously,
Is she apologising to us or the cartel there?
no, she's apologising. She got caught, isn't
Yeah,
she?
so
But I
you
mean,
guys don't
as
call
we've
me.
said in the past, though, people are so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's like
People cannot miss a selfie opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
yeah.
going to see through history now, every major event, there's going to be a selfie that
Yeah.
that fucking represents that moment.
No, you're
Even
right.
the end of the
Jim. No,
world.
you're right. I was watching this program about
to be
people
fair,
who
at
go,
the end of the world, you want that on video.
You're
wouldn't
going to
you?
beam after the satellite here.
Well, no one's
Look at
gonna
all
see
these.
it.
Nuclear cloud in the background
I
today.
got Wi-Fi.
Yeah, 7 billion twats, you know.
There was a
Selfies.
program about these guys who go and fight for Islamic State or against Islamic State. I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, the point you're making, they're in the middle of a battle and they're filming each other
Oh, yeah.
and putting it up on Facebook and
Yeah.
YouTube. And you think, are
Shit,
you
man,
men?
just
like,
reading more about
come on,
this
you've got to
story.
freaking fight a
Yeah,
battle. Yeah, like
yeah.
don't worry about the cameras a minute.
Just reading more about this
Shocking.
story, just because it's actually enraging me. The bitches. They went to Bermuda, Chile, Ecuador, and Colombia.
Oh, that's
Fuck 'em.
probably
I'm
that's
gra-
probably
I'm-
why they got
I'm
fucking
grassing 'em up.
suspect then.
I'm grassing them
You
up.
just named the fucking drug cartel countries. Yeah, that's why they're suspect.
I mean, like, who would be a mule for drugs? It never goes well.
Did you see those 2 Irish girls years ago that were they went on
Yeah.
holiday and they
Taiwan
went
or
to jail?
something.
Yeah, something like that. And they were like, "Oh, well, these guys just told us to bring them back, so we just did it."
they just give us
So
suitcases.
these guys,
and,
oh yeah, come on holiday to the middle of amazing paradise.
They look like lovely lads. I thought, oh Jesus, yes, that sounds like a grand plan.
But they're just bloody
Yeah,
thick,
yeah.
you know?
Nah, you just don't. You don't. I remember there's a guy who we know. I won't say his name, right? But he's a bit dodgy. It wasn't
Wait
drugs.
there,
It
you wanna
wasn't
do
drugs. I was in the middle of town, right? He comes bombing around the corner with bags full full of goods. You went, oh, James, hold this for me, bro. I'll come collect them later. It's like, right, you're running from somebody. No.
It's the police leg it past it.
Yeah, all right.
It is funny though, the selfies.
Do you know what it is? Yeah.
The selfie generation. I was watching this program I obviously watch loads of TV, by the way. I'm going to add
Got the
that.
time at the minute.
And
Can't fault it.
I know I got the time on my hands. You see,
That's the way to do
it's
it,
not
mate.
bad being a single son of two. Anyway, I was watching this program. His flight's gone bad or something.
Yeah.
And it was like
I hate them
loads of
programmes.
mid-air collisions or whatever. And it was I think it was in America or Canada or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this they landed on the airport on the runway
strip,
or
yeah.
whatever. Everyone was running out, and everyone was like that behind there, like that.
Yeah, with the
having a picture of their selfies while the aeroplane was on fire. They were like,
It's because
15 meters away
it's
from
the
the.
sense of like people are so in tune with what's going to go viral, and everybody's waiting to be a part of that wave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We're all waiting for our platform.
They want that iconic photo.
Oh,
They
God,
should be
yeah.
spread across the
Yeah.
page, then they'll get money.
It's just
tell
for
their
likes.
story
It's for
about the
likes, isn't it?
photo.
Yeah, it's celebrity saturated
likes.
Yeah.
culture we live in.
People
like.
will
Fit
sell
what?
their souls.
Is it Andy Warhol out and will get 15 minutes of fame or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
it's true. We're waiting
But
for
I
ours.
was watching, going back to this drug smuggling minute, there's a program used to be on TV. I don't know if it's
Banged
still on,
Abroad,
but-
isn't
Yeah,
it?
Banged Up
Yeah.
Abroad. And you get these idiots going, oh, I met some bloke in a pub and he said he'll give me a luxury holiday if I go
Yeah.
to
You know there's something
Indonesia for
dodgy
a
going
week.
on.
Oh,
don't
fuck
you?
yeah.
But like, you would ask us some questions, wouldn't you?
They give you a bag and they tell you, don't open it. Just take this bag over. You're all right. Fuck that.
Nah,
Well,
yeah.
this one
Yeah.
guy, right? He was an idiot. He said him and his girlfriend were in a bar, and basically this guy came over. He was chatting to him. He was really nice. Said, "Oh, I like you two. I'm going to pay for you to go on an all-inclusive holiday. I think it was Mexico or something like that." So basically, they turned up. As soon as they were there were some men waiting in the room for him, and said, "You have
hello.
a holiday.
Hello, Pedro.
On the last day of the holiday, we're going to come back."
I know,
They
I
did
know,
come
so,
back.
I know someone who smuggled drugs. across.
Smuggled or
successfully?
smuggled?
No, not successfully. You got caught in New York airport.
Shit.
He was
God.
taking a
American man, they
cat
don't mess
over.
around, do they?
It's what a smile. He's have like a stick.
Oh, Nat. Nat.
cat.
Is it like is that
Cat.
something they
Yeah,
chew?
they chew on it. In this country, it's
legal,
legal.
isn't it? Yeah.
But in America, it's illegal.
Yeah.
And he took some over. The person paid him to take it over.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he got busted straight at the airport.
Do you see that woman though in Egypt, and she was
He had
taking
his,
painkillers over to her partner or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Did you read down the paper? So it's illegal apparently to take it. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's right.
cocodamol or something.
Yeah, but didn't she take
Shitloads of them, like
loads of
shitloads
like
of
dodgy
them.
amounts, yeah.
But,
That was in
again,
Dubai one, eh? So
No, it was in
Egypt
Egypt.
it was,
In
yeah.
Egypt.
Because we were sitting.
Be careful in these countries, though.
Yeah, you
Some of these countries will like kill you because
Yeah.
She's in jail now for a long time,
Yeah.
and like you know, it's really
Something
serious
like
stuff.
23
over
and
there.
she's something like
a
that.
young girl.
Yeah, young girl.
Well,
You
that
see,
ain't
you've
worth doing, boys. I don't give a shit how enticing this.
Yeah, but it was meant for Egyptian boyfriend when he had back problems. Yeah, they don't have paracetamol and
Well, you have to pay
fucking in
loads
their
of money for
country.
them over there. When I went backpacking to Thailand years and years ago, and I met this lady.
Yeah, you're super STI.
But one thing I was
Her name was
paranoid.
gonorrhea, funny
Yeah,
enough.
gosh, she was. But
A goer.
anyway, you go to these parties there, and there was like this a place called Koh Phangan, I think is an island, and
Right.
every full moon there's a full moon party, and the whole island is just one big party, and they drive you over to all these beaches and stuff. It's unbelievable. There's like monkeys there, and elephants, and people selling you alcohol in buckets. It's called
that don't sound great, does it?
Samsung.
I don't know.
I'm sold already.
basically-
Yeah, right. His eyes are
It's whiskey.
fucking light up, yeah.
Well, it's
Steve's going-
homemade whiskey that they make themselves, and it's
Ooh.
like 60%, and they sell in buckets, like little bucket, not in.
Not in a bottle. Oh, you want to buy a bucket of ice with the bottle in?
No,
Oh,
a bucket.
actually, literally the
A
bucket.
Do you know, like a little kid's like bucket you
Yeah.
take to the beach, a bucket like that, and then it's so
Yeah, it don't
strong.
sound nice,
And
eh?
literally, do you know when like you have
sure.
you have alcohol when you're drinking, you have a few drinks, you're all right, and then you start to feel a bit tipsy. You're like, and with this, you're just drunk. That's just like the stages you have it in your drunk. And anyway,
I love whiskey.
but the thing, it's all homemade shit, like, and the thing is that when
Moonshine.
you're out there, they have like policemen out there
Yeah.
dressed in normal clothes, and they try and offer you drugs. And
That's cunty, isn't it?
yeah, but what they do though,
To me, it's like when police dress up as prostitutes and like they target people and like you only approached it because they approached you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
Entrapment.
when
That's
the-
gotta be careful.
Right, he sounds like a man of experience here.
But you gotta say to her, the trick is, I haven't done this before.
What's the trick then?
But the trick is, you gotta ask them if
you
they're
got gonorrhea.
if they're the police.
First of all.
And they gotta say yes, they are. If
No,
they are
I think that's a
together.
load of bollocks.
No, they got to.
It's like
Because otherwise, they can't trap you.
entrapment, yeah,
It's
yeah.
entrapment.
It's like on what you call it, isn't it? On Breaking Bad. Are you a cop? No, man, I'm not a cop. If you have to say I'm a cop and he buys drugs, you go, free. But anyway, yeah, so when you're in these parties, you get really, really hammered. And what they do, they come over and try and put things in your bags, your pockets. I'll come and find you.
that'd be
And what they are, they're undercover police officers. And a lot of the time, they're policemen just trying to make some money on the
Yeah,
side.
yeah.
And
And
it's so
coppers.
dodgy and crap. They'll say to you, right, give us 10 grand or you're going to jail. What you're going to pay. You're going to pay.
See, that's
you.
why I wouldn't want to go to these
And that
countries.
you
like,
need to be really careful out there because, like, and
Yeah,
like,
some countries are not worth the hassle.
No, it's not. Like,
it was.
You can offer me all the buckets of whiskey and elephants you want.
yeah.
Sometimes-
Steve's there, but at the time, like, it was really good. It was really good fun. But now thinking about it,
But saying that, their prison would be alright, innit? It's only
Yeah.
like, it's only like
Haven't you- haven't you
200
seen,
crowd and they're all smaller than you, so I'll be king of the castle. Fuck 'em up.
they were like
Steve,
the
king of the prison.
I don't know, they look a bit nifty.
Yeah,
though.
back to you. Anyway,
I haven't got the energy levels to keep up
Fucking
with the 100.
Muay Thai.
Chris's conspiracy corner. Is it?
Yes,
it time?
it's
No, wait there.
time.
I want to go back to no. It's
What's
not
the matter?
time.
What's the matter?
I want to go back to that party. That don't sound that great to me. I remember
sounded crap, like,
I
I wouldn't
remember
want
I
to do
woke
that.
up.
Yeah, but you
I was,
survived though, didn't you?
Well, I just remember just like flashing, like of like
Well, your dick.
flashing.
Someone else
Yeah,
The
yeah.
elephants. I got a bigger trunk than you.
I just of that night, all I remember is just flashes of the night. It was like literally, we oh man, I was so drunk. We were in this bar and there was all these. We ran over, so you can't stay on the island. It's so busy. There was like 150,000 people at this party.
Yeah.
See, that sounds
So
terrible.
we had to stay on an island called Koh Tao, which is the next island.
Koh
And
Tao.
it's a 45-minute boat ride. And on the boat, they ply you pay like, I don't know, £3, and they're plying you with alcohol. They want you to get drunk, so you buy more. And you go on the boat, they're giving you beer and this and
for
that.
free?
Yeah, free. And
Yeah, but you surely, right, you gotta know your limitations.
you don't, man. It's so hot there, and like you're just having a drink. And
see, that sounds-
and
it sounded
anyway,
worse
we
and
were
worse,
we
didn't
were
it?
there then, and we met these like, I don't know, they were Dutch guys or whatever, and they were a good laugh. And then I just remember we were like speaking to all these big crowd in this restaurant, and it must have been like being dickheads or whatever because everyone left and we just started eating all their food and then it was just crazy. And then I remember then I was dripping with sweat. Someone had painted all my face. I looked like bloody the Ultimate Warrior, just a really shit version of them. And I remember then we I had this massive lizard on my shoulder, and then I flashed to another scene, and I was jumping over a rope that was on fire and getting whipped in the face because I was too
Sounds like
drunk.
the fucking Hangover, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like and then I lost everyone, and I was walking down the beach.
Like hangover.
I lost everyone. It was like this beach with thousands of people on it. You can't even see the sea. And my
This has
See,
to ever you
I
been
think-
bummed
I
by a
think that's
monkey.
I think that's the scariest moment.
it was frightening. And anyway, I was walking then, and then I
Oh,
tripped.
fucking
And
dooley.
this is no God's honest truth. I was walking, tripped over some fucking bastard. My brother James, like that, just spewing up all over the. I was like, oh, hey, James. And then I woke up in a bloody shop doorway, and this guy had a sweeping brush. He was hitting me with it. No shoes. No money in my pockets. My camera, all I had was my camera, which they hadn't taken, and I can't say I got robbed because I'm probably so fucking
You
drunk.
just can't remember.
And then I had my ticket, no money left on me. I probably threw it away or something, and a ticket to get back to the next island.
Well, that's a bit fortunate.
It was
Hang on.
You weren't robbed then.
Hang on.
I wasn't robbed,
That
no.
camera.
yeah.
What was on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Hangover. It was just shit, like it just
Out of
photos of
focus.
nothing.
Steve, wait there. Now tell us you were going to say.
No, we did. It's not over yet. And the funniest thing ever, right, was we were back on the boat,
Yeah.
and literally it was deadly silent. Everyone was
imagine
asleep or
everyone being
hungover or
sick.
being sick.
Yeah.
And anyway, we were late. We somehow really didn't make the right boat.
and we had to get then to our island. We had to run across the beach like 1.5 miles, get our stuff and run back to get another boat to go back to Thailand to get our the main island to get our thing. And it was like a shit Baywatch. It was like we were running down the beach,
sick.
throwing
You can
imagine. I'm not
can't you?
joking. We were running down the beach, sweating out alcohol. You could taste it. I never had no shoes. I had to go like 1,500 miles with no shoes. I just walk around Bangkok with no flip flops or anything. We were being sick down
Chris,
it was a
you've
mess.
lived.
He's lived.
You've lived,
It was a
Chris.
mess.
Oh, I wouldn't know. Oh, that sounds awful to me.
Anyway,
Wait,
you're going to do Chris's conspiracy?
no, wait, I want to hear what Steve was going to
Go on
say.
then. Sorry.
Oh no, he was on about like nicking
up,
people's other food and pies. Now I said I've done that before.
I've nicked
Where,
people's
where,
food.
when
No, literally
I've gone
left.
out,
You were being
gone out
such twats, I
somewhere,
imagine.
and people's had the parties and they've had a buffet, and as soon as they disappear, we've all gone over the food and just start picking at their
I
food.
don't think we waited for him to go though. We just started eating. Anyway, should we do Chris's
Okay,
conspiracy?
so here we go. Chris's conspiracy corner. Take it away, Chris.
Welcome to Chris's Conspiracy Corner.
This is a really, really strange one. I didn't know much about it before I started reading about it, but it struck me. So there's a theory then. Anyone watch Stargate, the film?
Yeah.
I've seen the
Bloody
film.
good film, isn't there? What's the guy's name, the main actor in it?
You got Kurt
Kurt
Russell.
Russell. He did a bloody good
And,
job.
What's
that
the
one.
other guy? Fucking, what's his name?
Kurt
Glasses.
Russell and...
James.
He was in Stargate, the show then, wasn't he? Didn't he go into the
James
show?
Spade. No, James Spade.
No, it's not James Spade.
James Spade. Never James
It
Spade.
doesn't matter. Right, Chris. go on.
Anyway, awesome film. So there's this theory then that the second Gulf War was waged in order to close a Stargate owned by Saddam Hussein.
Right.
In
What
the-
is it? Hang on. It's
Few
important.
questions, I
For
imagine.
those who don't know, what
Yeah.
is a Stargate?
So a
Chris?
Stargate is a gate basically. It's a different dimensions, different world. It's
Like a
almost like a
portal
black
in
hole.
there.
A portal
Yeah,
to
black
another
hole.
dimension.
Different dimension, different time, different place,
Yeah.
and things like that. Anyway, so what they reckon was that they took over the Stargate to prevent the ambitions of the New World Order and prevent an alien invasion.
So Saddam had this Stargate. Was he aware? Do they think?
They don't know he was aware of it, and
'Cause what would he use it for other than throwing people through?
getting aliens who get alien technology. So there's this.
Be pretty kick-ass, though,
It
wouldn't
would.
He didn't use it very well, did he?
So apparently, then,
It's
so
awful.
He found it in a little
this
ditch.
is. I'll give you the background of this theory, and then you can just throw this shitty theory into So what they reckon is the American government obtained intelligence that somewhere in Iraq there was a Stargate.
Yeah.
But do you watch much about Ancient Aliens? They talk a lot about
Yeah,
the
a few
anarchy.
things, yeah.
So the gods, basically, where they reckon it was there. What they say though was that there's this doctor called Dr. Salah, really well-renowned sort of thing. And she says that the Americans, the Russians, and the Germans, it does mention the English actually, were aware that there was this possibility of a Stargate there, but they didn't know where it was. And they reckon, do you know, for all these years when they had the special forces going in to look for Saddam Hussein and this, and
Yeah.
that, they reckon they weren't. They were actually looking for the Stargate. They weren't-
Another thing was, do you know when all this pirate activity was happening in Somalia?
yeah.
On the seas, and they were like, patrolling that area, and they
yeah.
kind of they reckon that was because there was a Stargate underneath the water, and that was another
I
theory.
have read. I've read
Yeah.
quite a lot of this before, though. That
Yeah.
about
I
this.
don't think I believe in Stargates, do you? Do you, Steve?
So what they
I
what
think when a film comes out, there's always conspiracy
Yeah.
in reality about it. It always seems to happen.
so what they reckon was that in ancient Iraq, I guess. What was it? Persia before, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Ancient
yeah.
Persia before Iraq. So the anarchy abandoned Earth and they left the Stargate behind somewhere. The Russians, German, and French archaeological teams were for years looking for this, and they were trying to reverse engineer it. The Task Force 20 was, they were under the guise they were commandos taking out, looking at raids, but what they reckon they weren't looking for Saddam Hussein at all. They were just trying to find.
So the whole thing was about getting a Stargate.
What was that American project with the ship and something?
Philadelphia experiment? Yeah,
When
yeah.
they found people like half
stuck in the
stuck
ship and
in
all that.
halfway.
Yeah.
You know?
What was that?
You know, the
was like
Philadelphia
Airport.
experiment, you heard of
I've
that?
never
There was an experiment, and I
Oh,
think they were
yeah,
trying
I
to do
know.
time travel. I think it
Yeah,
was.
it's a battleship.
Something like
wasn't it?
Airport,
Yeah, and this ship apparently travelled through time, but on its return, unfortunately, sailors were actually like
Found halfway
melted
into.
It's almost like the ship and a lot of the crew fused together.
Yeah.
And some of them were killed, but apparently people survived it, and they reckon they went back in time. And
Oh,
was-
really?
yeah.
See, I believe in time travel. I believe in
Yeah?
time travel.
See,
Yeah.
someone said about time travel, the furthest you'll ever go in time travels backwards is when you turn the actual machine on.
first, yeah.
No, that
No,
would-
because that time
Because
it never
all
existed.
It all depends how you view time,
Yeah.
and how you view reality. Now, if there's parallel universes, then they believe that you could possibly go any
yeah.
point in time because it's a parallel universe.
Yeah.
If it's a singular
Yeah.
time
Like
scale,
if-
you can
like-
only go as far as back.
Like
to
if
the
it's a
first
parallel
episode.
universe, you could fuck around with that shit. You could, because it won't affect the butterfly
Well, lots of
effect.
people actually do think they are, and
But
there's
if you
a
did
really,
a single one, then it'll affect the butterfly effect. If you like trod
there's
on
a
the
really
fucking.
Yeah,
famous
yeah.
picture, isn't there, in the Gettysburg Address, where Abraham Lincoln was addressing sort of his soldiers on the battlefield, and there was a little boy there looking quite out of sorts. You can see it online. Have you seen it?
Yeah, he reckons he was.
He reckons he
in the
was
future.
there, and there was another one that was
What, George Washington?
no, there was a
Abraham
guy.
Lincoln.
Sorry,
who-
Abraham
who's-
Lincoln.
Yeah, so he.
Well, Abraham Lincoln said that.
No, there's a picture of Abraham Lincoln addressing all his soldiers
Right.
at
There's a kid
Gettysburg,
there, yeah.
and there's a kid
Can I
there,
get a picture of it?
and he does sort of look really out of
Yeah,
place.
I don't know. I do believe in time
There's a
travel.
lot of so-called
Yeah.
photos of
There's the woman guy
time
with
travel.
sunglasses and
Yeah.
like a
Time
random
travelling
top
hipster.
type
I'm
thing.
sure, look, there's some tramps around here. I'm sure
Yeah.
they whatever they're
fly.
wearing would look reasonable in
But,
50 years' time.
Like with the time travel, right? I'll just about when you set a destination,
Yeah.
do you go like from here to whatever, or do you stay in your position but go
Yeah,
into the
yeah,
future?
yeah. I get it. I
Like Time Machine,
Yeah.
that film.
Well,
He
you'd
just-
move through
he-
time,
he-
wouldn't you?
Yeah, no.
So there's
What I mean
there's
is,
the hipster.
when he
guy.
moves in time, he's stationary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he stays in the same
He,
place.
he
just
stays.
time.
He stays.
so would you
if I
move-
went a million years in the future, I'm at this
yeah.
point, you're still
point.
in the
So
same.
you're gonna
I'm
be
not, I'm not moved in America
Yeah.
like in 100.
Well, hopefully,
This
we'd be
is the
somewhere
guy-
safe.
This is the kid then. So his name is Andrew Bassaggio. He reckons he was part of the CIA secret program, which is time traveling. This is him at the Gettysburg Address. So he's as a kid there, and he's just looking round. See it? The one that's highlighted. He was there. He reckons.
Have you have a look,
He
Chris?
does look like he fits in though, doesn't he? But he does look a
Yeah,
bit different though. He does stand out, doesn't he? But
I think it's just the way the photo is.
He got a pin and light trainers on,
time,
guys.
time travel is a bit weird though, you know,
I
because
believe in
there's
time
this
travel.
there's this really famous story about this guy in Times Square.
That's right.
Have you
yeah,
read that one?
yeah, yeah.
And there was this guy, and he just appeared out of nowhere. Looked really, people, the police were looking at him. He looked really different. He was in old-fashioned clothing. The ID he presented was he was
There was a name, wasn't there? It was a name in his possession.
yeah, it was money that was like 200 years old. You know, he looked very, you know, all the things, the watch he was wearing was old. All the clothes he was wearing was really old. And anyway, he got hit by a car, didn't he, and died.
Freaking hell, you come all that
That's
way.
why
you never
Ratty
know
was
why
on
a
about
green car-
where'd you end up, and I said hopefully somewhere fucking safe, not in Times Square.
And there's
by a taxi.
there's another really, really weird story about this guy that was in Japan, and he was detained in Tokyo Airport, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And when he went to present his passport, it was a passport, but it was for a country that was in Europe that didn't exist.
But surely
and he
these
presented-
time travelers done their research of where they're fucking going.
But what they reckon is there's these different places on the Earth where there are like black holes, you know, where you can accidentally pass through them
Yeah.
without knowing. So it would be a parallel universe. So it would appear to you as though you're in the same universe at the same time, but things would be slightly different.
I mean,
like
it would kind of make sense.
So
because-
would you run into yourself then?
no.
Why? Because if it's a parallel universe, you'll probably.
But you are that person in the universe, just in a different universe.
What? It can't be like a Jet Li moment. The one you kill him,
This
get
is
more
it though. If you're
powerful.
talking about paradoxical sort of like multi-dimensions, then yes.
I just got a vision of me walking in and Ratty's wrestling himself in the living room. There can only be one.
But that's
Steve, why are you both naked?
And it's so complicated and weird, isn't it? Because you remember we've talked about that guy before in the past, haven't we? That reckons he met himself. He was
Oh, the guy
did the
with the
same
tattoo.
versions of the kid, which
And
I look
it's
like
older-
my dad.
Yeah,
it's a load of bollocks. You just
Is
see
the
someone
older
that look a bit
version
like
had
him
a
with
newer
a
What did he
sound.
do? He crawled in his cupboard. Did he do fucking
under the sink,
Narnia? Was
wasn't
he?
But that's that exactly. That to me just sounds so
Go
far
past the
fetched.
domestic.
So guys, what are we calling the Stargate? Saddam Hussein Stargate. I
does,
call
like,
it BS,
the
man.
thing-
These
the thing
fucking
about
werewolves, they turn up in some ridiculous
All right.
fucking
So
places.
so the premise is so Saddam either knew or didn't know about a Stargate, but there was a Stargate in Iraq. The Russians and the Americans wanted it.
Everyone knew about it.
Everybody
Nobody
knew
knew
about
about
it.
Everyone knew except for Saddam because you don't read the paper
No,
or
Is
on
he
the
there-
knew
internet.
about it.
Is there any proof?
Proof is quite. There's of course no proof about it.
So this is
no.
just
It's
theory.
just a theory.
It's a theory that
a
came
cool
about
theory,
by
though.
Dr. Sellers. She's done a paper. Dr. Seller, who is a. Should I go through her credentials?
Nah, she's a doctor.
She writes for the Daily Mail.
I have read lots of things about, sort of like the Middle East and about Iraq especially, and there does seem to be hundreds and hundreds of UFO sightings, lots of really strange
Yeah.
encounters, soldiers.
There's also a lot of
I
missiles flying
suppose
through the air
there's
as
a lot
well.
of things seen there because, like, one, you haven't got the light that we have.
Yeah, the light
to
pollution, yeah.
see.
Yeah, there's
See
lots.
out
Do you
there.
know?
Also a lot of
one
explosions
thing
going
that-
on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
One thing that comes out
Scud.
a lot is lots of soldiers that are sort of like in the mountains, all claiming like really strange stories. There was one a special
The,
forces.
the
unit.
thing about Iraq, though, it's such a heightened place of tension.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that affect you?
I imagine that though. If you think a lot of
Paranoia must be a big part
Yeah.
of life there.
You got to remember, they're probably fighting all the time. So they're probably
How-
testing out loads of
how
missiles
stressed
and
you are, yeah.
weapons.
There's loads of
Stress,
different-
heat, a lot of things flying for the fucking air.
And they're
Drugs,
probably testing out,
opium,
like,
yeah.
testing out new airplanes and technology in a real war
Well,
situation,
there's definitely
isn't
all
there?
that going on, isn't it,
There
Chris?
definitely is. You think all these militaries there with all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
new... Yeah, it's a
Technology,
really
they're
good
just battering
opportunity,
people.
Yeah.
In Iraq, where there's probably not too many people, the only people that are going to see a technology are going to be
like
dead very,
shepherds.
very,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
soon.
Yeah, definitely.
And not just that, people are going to be seeing weird stuff, This story that I was
Well,
just
weird to them, but like normal to like maybe to us.
Well, imagine, the stealth
Yeah.
bombers apparently were developed in like the 60s.
Yeah.
They only came out in like the 90s.
Oh,
The
they-
black,
they're
the
way ahead
Blackbird
of
one
us.
there, that
How-
was the spy plane one there.
yeah.
Yeah. And this is probably what people are probably seeing. Back in the day, and all these people were seeing probably freaking stealth bomber flying around, and they were told, "Oh, shut up, you're not seeing anything." They think it's UFOs.
But if
and
you
it's
look at the
stealth bomber,
UFO
isn't it?
sightings from like the 60s to 80s, they were all triangular ship discs.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's probably
The
all
thing
stealth
is,
bomber.
right,
It's
the whole
definitely-
planet is stressed and the whole planet's in darkness.
Yeah.
Governments lie all the time. Corporations lie all the time. We don't know what's in our drinks. We don't know what's in our food. We don't know what the government's spending our money on. We think the
Are they
fucking
lacing
Queen's a
us with
lizard.
LSD, you know?
You know what I mean? And of course, this is why conspiracies thrive.
Yeah,
don't they?
Yeah, we love a good conspiracy though. Anyway, this is Chris. I'm gonna say that's a load of bollocks. I'm gonna have to get a better
Hey,
one.
do you know
for
what? You never know, Chris. They might come out in the sun.
It might come out. I'm gonna have to get a better one to try and convince you next week because that was pretty boring.
Yeah.
It just stood out to me though.
No,
Because
it's cool
actually,
as
I love.
fuck. I reckon there are such things. I reckon
Do
the
you reckon
Mayans
you
went in
was-
on it. I reckon all these kind of mystical places, Stonehenge. I reckon there's something going on there.
Well, you think all these like all
There's all
these-
those ley lines, aren't there? It's like a
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
ley
Yeah,
line
it's what-
grid.
yeah.
At certain points, it's like
and they all line up like
Yeah.
Stonehenge. And
Yeah.
do you know
They're
what
all
they
connected.
were saying? And I won't drown on too much about this. Is that the pyramids in Giza, sort of like
Yeah.
at the center of the earth, and
Yeah.
everything. The ley lines go down
Go
from the
from it, yeah.
corners, and they do match up with like the Mayan temples
interesting.
and Machu Picchu, and
Yeah.
they met with all sort of like Stonehenge and like
Yeah.
places like that.
You know,
Absolutely incredible.
You can fraud that, can you?
Yeah.
What do you think? How much
Well, that's-
effort
it's
these
more
people
than a
went?
coincidence.
How
That's
much
it.
effort these
That's
people
not a
went?
coincidence.
There's something
It's
to
not
it.
a coincidence.
There's
dying
something
to
It
to
do
can't be a
it.
coincidence.
No, that's it. It's
At
not.
the same time, all these people went to these extraordinary efforts to make
Brilliant,
these.
brilliant architectural work. Absolutely fucking amazing.
well, they're still perplexed by a lot of the pyramids,
Yeah.
aren't they, to this
Well,
day?
look at the Mayan temples that are like in the middle of nowhere.
And
Absolutely nowhere.
I think it's in it's like the Mayan pyramids line up with like constellations within the
Well, that's what they
Ryan's
say.
belt,
Yeah,
like,
Ryan's
they like
belt.
the
Oh, the
Ryan's
fuck! I mean, astrology-wise, they were way ahead of this.
And you
Oh
look.
no,
and,
and they didn't have light
and you
pollution.
look at and you all
They
those.
didn't have light pollution.
Well, they didn't have
Yes,
Wi-Fi.
yeah.
They didn't have
And
Wi-Fi.
if you look
they-
like in Peru and stuff like that, and in like South American countries, they've got these sort of like cities that are like 10,000 meters in the air, and all these
Yeah.
all these like bloody
stones and blocks that you can't.
Yeah.
It's so flat and everything like
Yeah.
that.
Have you seen the
There's no
H
cement
stones?
in there.
The
Yeah.
H stones where they are stones. I'll just try and bring it up. The H stones, and they
know
just
what that-
they look like massive stones as big as this room. No cement. They just fit together so perfectly.
Yeah.
But there's
You can't
and
fit a fucking piece of paper through it. That's
Yeah,
all.
the same with the pyramids, isn't it? They
and it's like, where the fuck did they get all that from?
Yeah,
Where did they get them for
the
10,000?
Yeah,
Well,
let's
you-
get
He's
a
right.
bit big.
He's right. There's the
Yeah.
H stones.
yeah. If you try moving one
There's
of them,
no cement, is there? They're
no
just
cement.
held together.
How do you get them 10,000?
you could argue back then we were more in tuned with skills and labour.
But if you
and-
think 10,000 years ago, you know, this was around when they reckoned bloody sort of like we were just thick as shit, you know. We were just this is before the Romans. This is before any
but
technology we know about.
crafting
Yeah.
shapes, that's like a natural thing. You don't. It's not about intelligence, is it? Like
No,
to
I think
create.
it's-
But look
natural,
at
isn't
this. If you look at the shape of
You
the
look at, like-
stones, though, they're man-made. They're
Yeah.
perfectly made. They're all perfectly cut, so they all fit together. And these aren't little stones. These are stones that are
I think that just
tons
proves
and tons
that
and tons.
that a world without Facebook, you can do a lot of fucking.
I
I-
you got to remember,
I do
they
think
don't
peop-
have no Jeremy Kyle then. They didn't have
Exactly.
no...
didn't have anything better
In
to
a world without Jeremy Kyle and Facebook, you can build
I
amazing
think-
fucking architectural stones.
I love to believe that aliens did come back, like, and there's like these spikes in technology where, like, all of a sudden people just develop. It's like there's the technology.
I just-
sort of platforms,
Do you know what?
And then it
Go,
just goes like that.
right, when you get home, look up the year 1947,
Yeah.
and a lot happened then, mate.
Well, that was the year where
Queen.
Roswell, isn't there?
Bilderberg, Roswell.
It all happens.
But this is it.
1947,
This is it,
summer
though,
love.
isn't it?
Getting
You know,
off.
I do think people are exceptionally intelligent. I really, really do, and people misunderstand like how intelligent people are.
I don't know, I know some proper idiots.
Yeah, there are some proper dumbasses as well.
But it's because we're being emotionally manipulated.
yeah, to be all thick, we're all we need the
Constantly,
government.
we're being bombarded. You can't even walk in it, right? Even when you walk into Asda, there's a mind game because you're being told to buy
Yeah,
the
no, you're
cookies.
right, yeah.
You know, they'll play certain music at certain points, so you'll go and buy this special
Do you know-
offers. Put at the front. The way they arrange a store.
Yeah.
It's to
It's all the
guide you.
essentials,
It's to
yeah.
subliminal
That's why they change it around
messages.
now and again because stop you going
Yeah.
to your usual place.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they put the bread and all the stuff that you need, the bread and milk, right at the back.
Because you'll travel
You
all
have-
through
you
the
have to,
bullshit
yeah.
to get to it. Yeah.
And why
It's
does
all
it always
like-
smell
it's
lush
all
of
like-
donuts in
I know, I
Asda?
love it,
And it's like IKEA,
There's some
though,
guy with a
isn't it?
fan in a wafting the donut smell.
And in the
yeah,
chocolate
like
shop,
your
Thornton,
pages.
you ever
Oh,
find
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah,
You go
yeah.
in Thornton's, you're like, you bastards. You
Come on,
like
with
IKEA,
come
isn't
on
it?
with diabetes and £8 lighter in your pocket.
No. So with IKEA, that's how they're designed, isn't it? So you have to walk all the way
All
through,
through,
the store.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't just
Yeah.
go in and out,
Yeah.
which freaking annoys me because me and
Yeah.
Claire went to
Yeah,
get
it
some
is just a
plates.
one-week system.
IKEA's like a voluntary
Nightmare.
jail, isn't it?
Good food in
You
IKEA.
go in there
though.
and you're like,
I
what?
like
the-
IKEA.
The meatballs are lovely. And the dime bars you eat, and then
Yeah.
I've
They're
been
like,
ill over
and it's
those.
so cheap in there, isn't there? You get like hot dogs, like 30p
Oh,
and
it's
stuff.
just
don't
dirt
you?
cheap. I had
It's-
2 meals there last
Imagine the shit. Imagine the shit though that they put in those hot
I loved
dogs.
it.
It's arseholes and eyelids, isn't it?
James, what did you have? Two
I had-
meals in one
Yeah,
sitting.
I had this Moroccan chicken with I think it was quinoa rice, really spicy, it was nice, and then I had fish and chips with peas, and then I had
That's 2 meals in one sitting, Jim.
and then I had the cheesecake after. Yeah,
Yeah, that's quite a mix.
I don't fuck around.
Yeah. Well, you got to when you're going to do it, you got to do it properly, haven't you?
Right, boys, that's an hour and a half. Stuff to do. All right, that's episode
everyone.
8, and we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Peace.